time to read all about it right damn well here, and we are good to go. Hey guys, how you going? So down BKRsport, we are live as the Parramatta Eels. We're taking on the Penrith Panthers in a game where it is mathematically impossible for the Eels to make the finals. If they don't win this game, obviously Parramatta are not going to be playing in the finals, but it would be technically mathematically impossible if they were to lose this game. And the Panthers, well, gee whiz, what have they been doing recently? What's been going on with the Penrith Panthers? One team that was, people were saying they were never going to lose a game all damn well season at the beginning point of this year. And now it's like, well, are they going to win another game for the rest of the season? You know, losing the Broncos last week. Obviously, they beat the Rabbitohs. Lost to the Cowboys, lost to the Titans. Gee whiz. 3 out of their last 4 games have been a loss. So the Panthers, they really need to start turning around their fortune back into the winner's circle. And you would fully expect that today should be the day they do that. Like, there's no excuses for Penrith. They really should be winning this game, and they should be coming through this game with absolute flying colours. But then again, they have lost Dylan Edwards for this game. But there should not be an excuse. We're not giving you any excuses here, Penrith. You have to win this one. Because statistically, in every statistic, the Panthers are better than the Eels in. So it really should be a one-way affair here today. However, this is obviously a rivalry matchup. For some reason, people have had this weird thought process that the Eels have a decent record against the Panthers in recent years, which is absolutely flat out incorrect, mind you. If you go back and have a look at the recent results, it is just not correct. So, look, overall, we're starting off round 21, which is a very important round here, and teams have definitely going to start getting a move on, and we're going to start to see a lot more shape up. But let's get into the round that is to come, and then obviously we'll get into this game, see how it's all playing out. Then we'll get into the ladder, and then we'll see what you guys are saying over there in the chat. So do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe. If you are new around here, let's rock and roll. So the Eels, they take on the Panthers tonight. CommBank, like I said, mathematically impossible if the Eels lose for them to make the 8. Whilst the Panthers need to get back into the winning circle up there in first position, because if they lose, well, the Warriors aren't too far behind. Neither of the Roosters, neither the Sharks, neither of the Knights. But I did hear that Ponga might be out for the Knights now for the rest of the season, which is brutal if that is true. But then we move over to the Newcastle Knights on Friday tomorrow when they take on the Sydney Roosters in the early game. Very, very big game there as both teams are fighting for the top 4. And if the Knights do lose, well, gee whiz, it's going to be pretty tough for them with their points differential plus 37. And look, the Roosters have still got a chance at that minor premiership. So, I'd fully expect the Roosters to be coming through there. But that should be a good game there between 3rd and 6th. And then we've got a massive game between the South Sydney Rabbitohs and Melbourne Storm. Rabbitohs are just getting slapped by injuries at the moment. They've lost Cameron Murray and Tallis Duncan now. Whilst the Storm aren't in a fantastic position themselves, but at least they welcome back in Jerome Hughes tomorrow. But both those teams are desperate to make the top 8. They're desperate to win to make the top 8 because the Rabbitohs, despite being in 6th position on 24 points, they're still only 2 points away from Manly in 9th. But the Manly Sea Eagles have a plus 126 compared to the Rabbitohs, who have a plus 76. So all it takes is... hold on a second here. That is from last week, isn't it? Okay, sweet. So the Rabbitohs are actually in 7th position, and they're only 2 points away from Manly. So if Manly were to beat the Sharkies this week and the Cowboys were to beat the Broncos, the Rabbitohs would be out of the top 8 if they aren't able to get a win there. So, that's a huge game between those two teams. Storm obviously desperate, sitting outside the edge of the 8. And then we go to Saturday, Raiders versus Tigers. Well, that's not exactly the most enthralling game, is it? But the Raiders are still playing for something. Tigers are just in an absolute shambles, mate. They're in an absolute shambles. It's actually insane what happens at the West Tigers. Then we've got Bulldogs versus the Warriors, which could be a good game. Warriors obviously fighting for that minor premiership, and they could be equal with the Panthers if the Panthers were to lose tonight. With a win over the Bulldogs here, but the Bulldogs, they're desperate. They're playing a little bit better footy, and obviously they're coming into that game with the necessity to win. Every game from here on out, they just need to simply get the damn well job done, and that comes for pretty much every single team outside of that top 8 right now. You can't have a off game. You have to pump home strong all the way to the very end. So that's a very big game. Then you've got Cowboys versus the Broncos, which is a huge game there. Cowboys could obviously drop out of the top 8 with a loss. Whilst the Broncos, they're in 13th. They need to win every single game for the rest of the season. They're the exact same as the Parramatta Eels. They're both on 6 wins right now. The Eels, they have played all their byes. Broncos have had all their byes. That means that both these teams have 7 games remaining. Both of those teams need to win every single one of those 7 games if they are to believe that they're in with a chance to obviously make that top 8. And the Cowboys are not going to be, an easy team, despite the fact they look pretty poor against the Dolphins. And we know exactly what to expect out of the Cowboys this year. They're very much, you just know what you're going to get. They can still find a way to win games. They're just not spectacular. So it's like, well, Cowboys probably just find a way to win that game through very unspectacular fashion, but it's still 2 points and it still keeps them in that top 8, you know what I mean? But that is a big game on Saturday. And then we've got the Sunday games, which are Dragons versus Titans. Look, Wooden Spoon's done, but if the Dragons are to win this game, technically they could still try to avoid it, but they would still need to win basically 3 more games than what the Titans do for the rest of the season. If the Titans win, it is official. It is game over Red Rover for the St. George Illawarra Dragons, and they would have won their first Wooden Spoon as a merger, which is brutal to listen to. And then you've got Manly versus the Sharkies on Sunday. Manly need to win. Sharks, they're still with a chance in the minor premiership, and it's not like they don't need to win themselves to guarantee a top 4, but also guarantee them in the top 8. It's not locked in just yet. They're on 28 points. They still need 2 more wins to get themselves to 32 to guarantee them in the top 8 by the end of the season, which is the only team that's done that so far, is the Penrith Panthers on the 13. But all right, let's move now. And that's also the Dolphins get the bye this week. So let's move now into this game here today. The Eels come into the game from 15th position. The Panthers come into the game from 1st position. And this is at CommBank Stadium in Sydney. Now, the ins for the Eels, Luca Moretti, Mitchell Moses, and Will Penasini, with the outs being Aras Nanva, Charlie Geimer, and Jonah Pezzett. The fullback is Isaiah Yongi, with the wingers being Brian Kelly and Josh Adokar. Centers of Jordan Samrani and Will Penasini. The 5'8" is Ronald Volkman, with the halfback being Mitchell Moses, who was the captain. Front row forwards are Sam Tuivaiti and Jack Williams, with the number 9 being Talon De Silva. Back row, Kitiana Kautonga and Luca Moretti, with the 13 being Jack DeBellin. And then the interchange is Kelma Twilangi, Dylan Walker, Tinkam Brown, Harrison Edwards, Josh Papali, and Tony Mattielli, with the coach being Jason Riles. Ashley Klein is in your bunker tonight, by the way, so good luck with that one. Jared Sutton is your referee, and Casey Badger's on the touch judge sideline. What an absolute trio that is. But yeah, look, the Eels this year, they've been extremely disappointing. They won the pre-season competition, which just really does show to you why the pre-season just does not mean jack, really, in regards to results. It's just about getting some, time and some playing into the boys' bodies and whatnot, testing out new things. The Eels went and won the minor premiership. The Eels went and won the pre-season, and yet are still in 15th position right now. The team became second to the Gold Coast Titans, who are in 16th right now. That should really tell you for future reference in regards to what that pre-season means. But, this Eels team, obviously, they're getting back Mitchell Moses, but they just haven't been good this year regardless, whether Mitchell Moses has been there or not. At the end of the day, they've given up 507 points throughout the season, which is the second worst defensive team throughout the competition. They're actually the second worst. The worst is actually the West Tigers right now. The Dragons have moved away from being the worst defensive team, and they've gone to the 3rd worst defensive team. So technically the Tigers have played an extra game there, but it just is showing you that emphasis of how far this Tigers team has fallen off. And I can't believe that there's like a little bit of a scapegoat thing happening with Adam Dewey. What's doing there? But, overall, the Eels defense this year has just been absolutely diabolical. And if you are to, Dragons and Eels played 17 games, the Tigers played 18 games. If you want to be fair and you want to be pedantic about it, well, you could give the Eels those extra points and they would be the worst defensive team in the competition based off of averages. So, yeah, look, it's just been an absolute nightmare of a season for Parramatta, which they're obviously well used to. They are going to use the excuses of injuries and whatnot, which is also a justifiable excuse, but also, there are so many teams that do have a lot of injuries that are still in the top 8 right now. There are still so many teams that find injuries but still, just keep chugging along in the top 8, whilst the Eels, they're down there on 6 wins and they need 7 wins for the rest of the season. They need more wins in their last 7 games than they've had through their first 20. So it's looking not unlikely, basically impossible is the way you would put it there. But, look, we'll see how it does pan out. There's a long way to go. There's still 7 more rounds to go, 6 more weeks to go here of... I don't know why I said 6 more weeks to go, but 7 more rounds to go before we get to the crunch. But overall, I just don't see much defense really panning out here for Parramatta. If you are going to try and think of a positive here for Parramatta, it would be the fact that they it would be the fact that they did finish off the season very strongly last season, where was it actually? What point of the year was it when they started to have absolutely rocking year? 2025. It was around that Roosters game. No, it was... That's right. It was after the Raiders game. It was this round. Yeah, against the Broncos when they won 22-20 against the Broncos at Suncorp Stadium. Then they lost by a close one to the Storm, 16-10, who obviously went on to the grand final that year. 19-18 over the Cowboys. Lost on a close one, 20-16 to the Rabbitohs. We had a similar back end of the year. Beat the Roosters 30-10. Beat the Warriors top 8 team 26-22. And then beat the Knights 66-10 in the final round of the season. So if you want to look at a potential positive here for the Eels at this point of the season, you would be looking at the fact that they did come home like an absolute train from this round last year. That was at Suncorp. And then obviously the team that they lost to, the team that they beat, went on to win the competition. So if the Eels won today in a close margin, well, you'd be like, well, maybe it happens back-to-back in rounds 21, where the team that loses to the Eels in close margin and gets their season back into a, proud moment, maybe that's the team that goes on to win the competition. But, yeah, look, overall, I don't feel like the Eels should be coming through here. I just don't. But, anything can happen, and it is a rivalry game, and the Eels are playing for their last dance, essentially, in this 2026 season. Now, the ins for the Panthers, Jackson Edgar, and the out is Dylan Edwards. The fullback is Jackson Edgar, with the wingers being Thomas Jenkins and Brian To'o. The centers are Paul Alamotti and Casey McLean, with the 5'8" being Salungi. And the halfback is Nathan Cleary, who is the captain. Front row forwards are Moses Leota and Lindsay Smith, with the number 9 being Freddie Lussick. Back row of Isaiah Papali'i and Liam Martin. 13 is Isaiah Yeo. And the interchange, Billy Scott, Scotty Sorensen, Liam Henry, Billy Phillips, Isaac Tungo, and Jack Cole, with the coach being Ivan Cleary. This Panthers team has been falling off an absolute cliff recently, where they've lost 3 out of their last 4 games to all 3 Queensland teams, and all 3 Queensland teams are either not currently in the top 8 or are right on the edge of the top 8, the Cowboys in 8th position. So they've beaten everybody else, but they've lost to the 8th place Cowboys, the 13th place Broncos, and the 16th place Titans. And you're just like, what's going on here? Like, how is this humanly possible? You can make an excuse against the Titans when they did have Nathan Cleary, Isaiah Yeo, and Brian To'o out. But with that being said, they still beat the Warriors with that same team lineup in that game. But they had a couple of outs in that game. They didn't have the outs of the Cowboys game. They just didn't look good at all. Made so many ridiculous errors. It looked like they bought too much into their own hot sauce. And then obviously you've got that game last week against the Broncos. You thought they were starting to bounce back after that win over the South Sydney Rabbitohs, but then they go up against the Brisbane Broncos and just tank it up. And Broncos were simply the better team. Yeah, look, it was controversial, but at the end of the day, the Broncos were the better team and they deserved to win that matchup. So I don't really know what it is with this Panthers team as we currently speak. I really don't. Like, again, they've made the top 8, and you would assume that they get the minor premiership. How's Jackson Edgar going to go here? It's going to be interesting. Nathan Cleary obviously has to be a defining role. As per usual, he hasn't really been stepping up recently, and definitely didn't against the Brisbane Broncos. That was an extremely wet weather game, but also who really gives a shit? Like, they're both playing on the same field. Isaiah Yeo's got to lock in here. Brian To'o had a good game last week where he had 2 tries against the Brisbane Broncos. Maybe it's Jenkins' turn, Tommy Jenkins, to get some Milky Bar Kid action, getting on here at CommBank. And look, really, there's no point even looking through the drawer of the Panthers, because we all know what this Panthers juggernaut is. We all know what they can do, and we all know they could win this game by 50 points. It's entirely possible. I remember in the first half of the game where they played early on this year, I think it was like 32 points to 0 or 32 points to 4 or something ridiculous in favour of the Panthers. If the Panthers click tonight, like if they click, it's going to get just scary. It's going to be absolutely terrifying. Because this Parramatta Eels defense, let's bring it into perspective for you. The Eels have conceded 507 points through 17 games. The Panthers have conceded 237. That's insane. 237 for the Panthers for the same amount of games as the Eels with 507. You have to double and a quarter. Double and a quarter is what the Eels have given up more points. Because if you double the Panthers, they'd be at 274. Well, so they'd be at 474. The Eels have still got another 40 odd more, 33 more points given up than double what the Panthers have given up. So there's nothing defensively that you could stand by and say, yeah, well, the Eels might have a chance here. Well, then let's look at the attacking side of things. The Panthers have scored 515 points this year. The Eels have scored 331. That is about 184, 185 odd in terms of attack better for the Panthers. So you have got close enough to 300 more points conceded, and you've got close enough to 200 more points scored for the Panthers. Like, there should not be any... Well, points differentials plus 278 for the Panthers. The Eels are at minus 176. If the Eels win this, it would be the upset of the season. And it would nearly be the upset of the damn well NRL. Statistically, it shouldn't be happening. But if the Panthers lose this game, I've been pretty solid in regards to, I just believe the Panthers still going to win this competition. I've said for weeks now this is a form slump, and we've just got to be patient and wait for it all to click again, because it will click again at some point. If they lost here today, look, I still probably would back him in, but it's just like, this would be a bit too much for me. To lose to the Titans and Parramatta and the Broncos in the space of 4 weeks of each other, you'd just be like, well, this is just dreadful. You know, this is trivial right now, and I don't know, I don't know who they're going to turn around against, because for the rest of the season here for the Panthers, it's obviously going to be more difficult than what they've got right now. They've played 3 of the bottom 5 teams and lost to 2 of them. They haven't played the other game. You know, they've got the Raiders next week, the Warriors, the Roosters, the Storm, the Bulldogs, and the Tigers. Well, where do you bounce back and where do you show your form? Like, knowing this Panthers team, could they just be waiting for that Warriors game just to prove a point again, set a statement? You know, like, are they just waiting for a good team to set a statement again? Or is Mudgee going to be the same oval that we typically do see teams really bounce into form at, and they play against the Raiders at Mudgee next week? I would be super off the premiership of the Panthers if they were to lose this game. But I would still probably back him in. And it would just take Raiders loss next week for me to say, I just don't think they'd do it. But then if you say that they won't do it, that's when they'll go and do it. So maybe that's just what they're trying to do here. Look, I'm taking Panthers 13 plus here. I know that there's going to be some people who who try to jump on this Eels wagon for whatever reason. I really don't know what reason you're giving to suggest, besides the pure fact that the Panthers they've got 2 points out of their previous eight points. You know, that would be the only way, but it's like, you know, the Eels are still the Eels. Who cares about the Manly game? Because Manly have been just dribble lately. Rabbitohs pumped them. Roosters pumped them and didn't look great doing it. They beat the Raiders, but like whatever. And lost to the Bulldogs, one of the worst games of the season. They lost to the Knights. They got smashed by the Storm. They did beat the Cowboys. They got smashed by the Warriors. Got smashed by Manly. You know, got smashed by the Titans, 2-10. And this is still the Parramatta Eels. So I'm going to take Panthers 13 plus here. There is not a single statistic that shows that the Eels should be winning this game. So if they go on to win this game, I'll be genuinely shocked. I'll be just completely shocked. And I think it'd be one of the craziest things I've seen, because statistically it just should not be happening. Now, in regards to the ladder, the Panthers, they're in first position on 32 points with 13 wins. They've got a plus 278 points differential. Now, if they win this game, they go to 34 points, 14 wins. Will be still 2 wins above the Warriors and the Roosters, but that could be eaten up into 1 if the Warriors with the Dogs and the Roosters with the Knights. But the Panthers plus 278 is very, very good. You know, and they could put themselves above the plus 300 points differential today, which would just be absolutely insane. Actually, if we compare that with the Raiders last year at this point, so plus 278 on the differential here. At this point last year, the Raiders were at plus 132. They're at plus 132. By the end of the season, the Raiders had a plus 148. You know, so that tells you the difference here. Actually, if we go back to 2024, where it would have been, it was the Melbourne Storm, they had plus 243. By the end of the season, at round 20, they had a plus 141. So the Panthers are currently up by about 130, 140 odd on that. In 2023, the Panthers, in round 20, had a plus 203. So they're still 70 odd points off, 75 points better off than that now. If you go to round 27, they're at plus 312. So they finish off with about with about 34 more than what they've currently got here now. But again, they could do that today if they've clicked on. If they're on today, they could absolutely do it. Points differential plus 306. This Panthers team is a juggernaut, and that's what I'm saying. Despite the fact that they have lost 3 out of their previous 4 games, it hasn't been by big margins, they're waiting to pounce. And this could easily be. This could easily be the game that they do pounce. And honestly, I'm actually going to go have a look here at centre wings and free agency on my Supercoach draft here before I get back to that ladder. And I want to see, because Alamotti is available. And it's like, I've got Brian To'o and Molotalo. Molotalo plays Manly. I could consider going Alamotti too, considering that I do think the Panthers could be absolutely on here today. And if they are on, then Alamotti should go off. I'll wait to see the chat to see what you guys are saying. But all right, let's get back into the ladder. So let's get back to 2026. Now, so if they win this game, they will go 2 wins clear for the time being. If they lose this game, however, let's assume that they lost by 28 points, went to 250. Well, if the Warriors beat the Bulldogs by 50, they would actually go into top of the table with a win. Roosters cannot do it. But long story short, the Warriors, if they beat the Bulldogs, would go equal with the Panthers. And the Roosters, if they beat the Knights, they would go equal with the Panthers. Roosters have plus 84. Panthers have a plus 278. And the Warriors have a plus 202. So neither team is realistically going above them. But it would be crazy because both the Warriors and Roosters will get to play the Panthers before the end of this season. And in 2 weeks' time, it's the Warriors, and then in 3 weeks' time, it is the Roosters. So that'd be absolutely massive in terms of that minor premiership race. And the Sharks are just kind of sitting in behind, waiting to pounce in terms of a minor premiership there with their form recently as well. But maybe they are due a bit of a slump at some point too. So that's the Panthers. They're not going to move out of first position this week unless it's an absolute miracle for the Warriors. But on the other side, the Eels on 18 points with a minus 176 points differential. Now, they're equal with the Tigers on 18, the Broncos on 18. Broncos have minus 124, and the Tigers have minus 162. If the Eels win, they would go above the Tigers for now, who play the Raiders. They'd go above the Broncos for now, who play the Cowboys. And they'd go equal with the Raiders and the Storm. Raiders minus 81, Storm minus 10, not going above either of them. So they would go for the time being into 13th position, but then it would just come down to Broncos and Tigers, who could both lose. So it's either 13th, 14th, or 15th with a win there for the Eels. With a loss, however, well, if the Eels lose the Panthers and then the Titans beat the Dragons, they'll be on 18 points as well, and they'll have a minus 106 points differential. So the Eels are already 70 points off worse than the Titans as we currently speak. So the Titans go and win that game. They would jump the Eels, they would also jump the Tigers, and they would also jump the Broncos, provided all 3 of those teams lose. So the Titans with a win here this week, and all 3 of those teams going and getting a loss, would actually get them out of the bottom 4, which is a nice little jump there for the Gold Coast if they can go and do that and results go their way. And look, realistically, you probably are taking the Raiders against the Tigers, you are taking the Panthers against the Eels, and you probably are taking the Cowboys against the Broncos, even though Broncos fans will try and sell you a dream. So, there is a chance of that. But look, win, they'll be 13th, 14th, or 15th. Probably 13th in my opinion. If they lose, then there's a chance they go 16th. Otherwise, they'll just go into 15th. Unless the Eels lost by 1 here to go to minus 177, and so the Tigers lost by 20, or the Broncos lost by 60. That'd be the only way possible. So there you go. There's the ladder, guys. Obviously, get into the chat. Let me know what you are saying. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new around here. And let me know, do you think I should go all in on Panthers today on my Supercoach draft team? Should I go all in on the old Panthers today on the Supercoach draft team? I'm not too sure. I'm feeling like I might. I'm feeling like I may just think about doing it. I'm thinking I might do it. And he says, hey, Blaze and BKR, how we, BKR fam, how are we all tonight? Going all right. I've had a bit of a rough week in terms of a little bit of a sickness, but, we're rocking and rolling. Rocking and rolling the old Kodakshajan. I was had to go to a bank for like 3 hours before. Nobody speaks English. That was a tough one. Ethan says, kind of wild that how close it is on win-loss for Eels versus Panthers. Last 3 meetings, Eels 18-10, Panthers 32-10, Eels 48-20. No, you're lying. No, hold on. No, that can't be true. There's no way. No, because the Panthers smashed them by 48. Are you... hold on. Edson, I hope you're right here. I know you're not, but I hope you're right here, because that's just not true. All right, so earlier on this season, the Panthers beat the Eels 48-20, just to kill off what you just said there already. So, no, the Eels did not win against them 48-20. The Panthers were up by about 30 points at half time in that game, so I don't know where you've gotten that one from. In 2025, the Panthers played the Eels, and it was 32-10 to the Panthers in round 19, and it was 18-10 to the Panthers in round 13. So the Eels have not won in their last 3 matchups against them. So this is looking like a fantastic comment right now, Edson. And then in 2024, we saw the Panthers win 36-34 in round 23. And we also saw... where is it? Where's their first game? Panthers win 26-18 in round 2. Fantastic comment. So they've won 5 in a row against the Eels so far, Edson. Back to 2023. This is why people don't know what they're talking about when they bring this comment up, because it always... I've done this conversation so many times before where people for some reason think the Eels have got a good record against them. The last win for the Eels comes back in round 26, 32-18 in 2023. A year, obviously, the Panthers went on to win that grand final. But that was their last win against them, 32-18. Was that with a full-strength team? It probably was, to be fair. It was round 26, not round 27. Actually, funnily enough, had Jenkins before. He ended up going across to the Knights before then coming back. 2023, they got a couple of wins against them, but that, again, is 3 years ago. It was 3 years ago. And then, obviously, back then was a lot better for them than it is now, because obviously the Panthers knocked the Eels out in the grand final that year and also beat them in week 1 of the finals as well. So, yeah, no, couldn't be further from the truth there, Edson. Could not be further from the truth. Nav Dale says Eels all day. Up the Parramatta. We'll see. Angel Joa says Eels are winning this one. Panthers lost 3 out of their last 4 games to mid-teens. Parramatta by 7. Do you realise that Parramatta are in 15th position? Do you realise that the teams that the Panthers lost to are above Parramatta? Regardless. Sure. The Panthers have lost 3 out of their last 4 games, but have the Eels been spectacular in this time frame? So very easy to pinpoint the Panthers and say the Panthers have lost some of their games, but also the Eels, they lost to the Roosters 28-12. They lost to the Rabbitohs 32-12. You know, they lost to... Actually, no, let's use specifically the 3 teams. So when the Eels played the Titans earlier on this year, they lost 52-10. They lost the Panthers. They lost 48-20. When they played recently against the Cowboys, I think it actually was a close win for the Eels. So that was completely against it, to be fair. That was completely against the grain. Long story short, it's very specific of you. Like, you're specifically using the form of the Panthers, which obviously is far better than the Eels this season, and have smashed the Eels at one point this year. And you're not utilising the Eels form themselves. So I'm not too sure why we're specifying rather than using both of them. Because if we're using both of them, yeah, look, it's a worry in regards to the Panthers dropping off a little bit recently, but I'm sure it probably won't be happening today. Good evening all, and good afternoon to you too, Blaze. Sean says, Olivia says, 2 sleeping time in Bronco Hater Town. Eden says, just mad we won the premiership last year. Broncos and Cowboys don't even really actually hate each other. They have respect for each other because of the long-term history in terms of the state of origin. Clint says, yo, let's get some multi-popping. Brenton says, fire up for a Friday frenzy. Well, today is Thursday. Like I said, I've been sick lately, guys, so give me a moment. A lot going on. Glenn says, give me a first, second, third try scorer. I'll chuck $5 on it. If it pops, I'll super chat the winnings. A first, second, and third try. Are you saying a try scorer who is either first, second, or third? Is that what you're saying? Or are you saying to give you a try scorer who's going to, like, as in, like, 3 try scorers? Are you saying to give you a first, second, or third try scorer? Because if you're going to do that, then I'm going to look towards... You know what? I'm going to go against it. You know, chuck a $5 on Nathan Cleary. Chuck a $5 on Nathan Cleary. He needs to step up here today. And I could easily see him scoring a try here today. So I'm going to take a little bit of a plunge there. Like, sure, I could go with a Brian or a Thomas Jenkins. Let's go with a little bit of a Scooty. Let's go with a little bit of a sneaky Scooty McScoot. And we're going to go Nathan Cleary here for a first, second, or third try scorer, if that's what you're saying. Tigers, I'm expecting a Penrith masterclass to bounce back. Tries Milky, McLean, and Cleary. Yeah, don't mind it. Johnson Parramatta Eels win 1 or 12 points. Good luck. Brenton says that should be a good matchup. I don't think it'll be a poo slinger that some people are making it out to be. No, probably won't be. Both teams have been a lot better recently. But I'm pretty confident. Just Another Human says, feeling good for Friday. You've lost Caleb Ponga, so I don't know, man. The Roosters, they're probably going to be fired up here, and the Knights obviously have lost one of their main men. Thought you ramped up for Newey to cook the chooks, Brenton. It is Thursday. Yeah, it's not Friday footy here. Let's move this bad boy down. Next says, good win last week for the Tits. How good was ex-Titan Khan last week? Who do you reckon out of the Dogs and Warriors? Oh, well, I got Warriors to win. That game. Would be a type of game the Warriors would lose, though. Let's go have a drink here. Hold on. I got a Fanta here. Don't even have a Coke Zero. I got a Fanta here today. But yeah, no, I think the Warriors should win that one quite confidently, really. I'm not too crash hot on what the Doggies have been doing, but at least they've been getting some wins. For sure, but it's not like they've been crash hot. I think for 20-12 to the Panthers, they need a comeback win. And their team that usually has comeback wins after a bit of a slump, they're at least expected to. They had to put those clauses in just to get him there, unfortunately, but he said he was all in when he wasn't. That's the shit thing for them. Oh, who are we talking about here? Tigers brought this on themselves, Brandon, with those clauses in Luai's contract. And then he said they had to put those clauses in just to get him there. Yeah, the clubs lower down the table have to do that. But he said he was all in when he wasn't. That's the shit thing for them. Yeah, I don't disagree with that, Brenton, at all. I don't know. I read it from NRL Tipping. Yeah, well, NRL Tipping is completely incorrect then, Edson, because we've just gone through the most recent matchups there. You've probably misread it, is what I would make a bet on, because what you said was not true, and I'm sure the official NRL Tipping wouldn't be saying something that is officially not true. For example, they've lost the last 5 games in a row against the Panthers. Michelle says, go the Eels. Probably not realistic, but Panthers are either on or off. No, Panthers are typically on. It's just that recently they've been off. I wouldn't say that they're usually on or off. Usually the Panthers are just on, but it's just been recently where they've definitely been a little bit more so on the off. Panthers will easily win this. Panthers, even when losing, have been better than the Eels when they've won. Yeah, well, like if you look at the Eels' recent scores and recent games, like the Eels when they beat the Raiders, you're just like, this is shit house. When the Eels beat the Manly Seagulls, like Manly were awful, but at least the Eels deserved it, but like they didn't play unbelievable footy. Same thing against with the Cowboys game. Yeah, there hasn't been like a stellar game for the Eels. I would agree with that one. There hasn't been like a stellar game for the Eels so far this season. I want to have a look here and see what has been the Parramatta Eels' best game this season. Maybe it was the 40-32 over the Broncos back in round 2. Maybe it was the 40-32 back in round 2. Because it wasn't the 52-10 against the Titans. 38-20 against the Dogs was good, but the Dogs were really poor. 33-30 of the Cowboys, nah. 15-12 of the Raiders made me want to stab myself in the eye. And then the Manly game was like both teams, which is triple. I would probably say the Eels' best game this season is round 2 against the Broncos. I'd probably say that. Would anybody disagree? What would you say? If you're an Eels fan, what is your best game you've played this season? What is your best game? What hadn't heard yet about Ponga. Yeah, big news in regards to Ponga. He'll be out for a little bit. Would you guys play Mulatalo this week, or would you play a Paul Alamotti? Like, I guess it just comes down to if you're really confident about the Panthers, surely you probably are just going with Alamotti. Surely. Maybe Eels beating Bulldogs 30-20. Yeah, maybe. I guess that might be their second best game, but also the Dogs were really poor. What about when they beat the Raiders? That was nearly the worst game of the season, Sean. Eels-Raiders was actually awful to watch. What? That game is not even in the stratosphere of what we're talking about. if you're talking about like worst wins this season, I'd go with Eels Raiders. Chelsea says, just quick, something I want to say about last week's Wires, Bunnies and Titans games to you and people who were in the chat at the same time, if that's all right. Also, can anyone see this? So Chelsea, I'm gonna put this out here right now because I've just realised who you are. I'm gonna put this out here right now. This stream is not all about you, right? So you come in here and you try to make the stream chat and you try to make everything about you and what you have to say. There are hundreds of people that watch these streams. There are a lot of people who get involved in this chat. And this doesn't just go for Chelsea. This goes for everybody here, right? So I'll be completely honest with you. I don't want to hear what you have to say in regards to what happened last week. Fuck last week. I just don't care about it. We're here to watch some rugby league. This stream is not about you. We're here to watch rugby league, enjoy it. You need to read the room. There is a reason why everybody in the chat is constantly telling you to shush, right? There's a reason why a lot of people here are saying you're not getting it, right? So this is what I'm going to say, and then we're going to move on. We're going to get back into the game here. Please read the room. I do not care what you have to say about last week. Please stop creating fake accounts. Just get involved in the chat. Move on from anything that's happened. But if you do it again, we're just going to hide you again. And I just need to throw that out there because I'm getting real sick of this thing where you're just trying to make everything about you 24/7. Just another human says, I have no idea, just wishful thinking. 33. Move on, Brendan. Move on. I watched this video again, by the way. That is so funny. Every single time you watch it, the move on. What was his name again? What was his name? I can't remember his name right now. Move on. Move on. Move. Gee whiz, it's too funny. Jason says, do we need an attitude adjustment? Heated argument with Ben. I didn't say this. Heated argument with Benji and leaving training and then dropped because he was picked at lock. I will say that Tigers fans will immediately, I think old school fans and Tigers fans will immediately take the side of Benji. And then I think if you are a neutral fan or a younger fan, I feel like people will take the side of Dewey. And I think that's just how it's going to go. If you were old enough to clearly watch the 90s and the 80s and whatnot, you're usually a pretty tough-minded rugby league fan, right? If you're post-90s, maybe even post-2000s and you're more 2010s and above, there is a different thought process in regards to how players and coaches should interact or how players should be treated and blah, blah, blah. And there's no right or wrong answer here, but a lot of the younger generation will look at it and they will immediately take Dewey's side here. And I don't even know if this is as deep as it is. I think it is probably quite deep, but I just don't trust the media when it comes to these kind of situations. So I can tell that an older generation will be just like, you're a player, you get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to go out and play. You can't just pick and choose. Go out there and do your job kind of deal. And the younger generation will be like, yeah, but we don't deserve to be spoken to like this. We deserve to have a say, blah, blah, blah. They're like, I know people won't agree with each other in regards to that, and that's why it's a very perplexing situation. And the same thing goes for when we had the Tigers, same club again, Lachlan Galvin and the organisation, and Lachlan Galvin and Jerome Luai and whatnot. You know, you're going to get two sides very quickly and very separate immediately. Okay, so we're just going to do this. This person never reads the room, bro. Getting over it. Walker Shaw says, who would you put $50 on for an anytime try scorer tonight? I'm going Nathan Cleary. I'll go Nathan Cleary for you. If I was going to do all my, throughout all the teams, like I usually do, backline Eels and backline Panthers, forward pack Eels and forward like Panthers. I would go Brian Kelly for the Eels, and then for the forwards, I would probably look towards coming to a Lungi or whatnot. No, he's not playing tonight. Kitiona Katonga. So I'd go Kitiona. No, Kitiona isn't playing, but he's on the bench. I'd still go Kitiona Katonga, and I would go Brian Kelly. And then for the Panthers, I'm going to go Nathan Cleary, and I'll go with... You know what? Let's go a little bit of Isaiah Yeo here. With that being said, I do think that I would probably look towards Nathan Cleary because I'm pretty confident that he has a big game here tonight to make up for what last week was, because last week was poor. It really was. Do you reckon Manly form slump is due to Brooks' injury? I think that's been coming. Look, at the end of the day, Manly are a decent team. They're not a premiership winning team. Like, I've been seeing a lot of real dribble recently in terms of just not really understanding it all. Like, Manly are a decent team. Don't get me wrong, but this is still... they're still nowhere close to winning a premiership with their roster. Jamal Fogarty was never going to win the Manly Seagulls a premiership. He's not that kind of player. Luke Brooks really stood up under Kieran Foran, but also so many players stood up under Kieran Foran, but also the veil has been lifted now. So it's like, this is the important time to prove who you are as a team, and this is the important time to prove what Kieran Foran is as a coach. Because whilst it's all well and good that you go and win a good lot of games at the beginning of a tenure when you're getting rid of Anthony Seibold, and Seibold was a moron, but you get rid of him and you're moving into this new trajectory, and you win a couple of games and you're like, shit, okay, this is crash, this is red hot, shit hot, we're smashing it now, we're going to win a comp. And it's like, well, if you looked at a lot of the games, like Manly, they had a good couple of games where they looked really good, but they also had some games where they didn't look good, but still got a win. But it was more consistent than just like a one-off game or two games. There was quite a few of the games that they won, and it's just like you could still see right through it. So now we're getting to a point where Manly need to Kieran Foran needs to prove right out. And I know Foz. I love Foz. I want Foz to do well. He's a great dude on and off the field, right? But it's not just a Luke Brooks thing. It is this Manly team is still Manly, and Foran needs to find a way to continue to get it out of the Seibold era. Because right now these players are still they're all players that played under Seibold. They're all of them, every single one of them. Except for Jamal Fogarty, but Jamal Fogarty obviously only had a couple of games at the beginning of the year. Togo says, I think McLean goes over tonight. Yeah, probably. Short Line says, Reece Wesser for 2. Walker Short has just locked in $50 on the chin. Get on the chin. Get on a big old chin. Looks more like Gordon Tallis. I don't know what you're talking about. Chopper says, do you think Penrith have been practicing more defense over attack lately? Well, that should be the opposite of what they should be doing. What they should be doing, like, at the end of the day, your defense, once that's sorted, you can evolutionize your attack, right? Look at the Titans, for example. So the Titans, at the beginning part of this year, have had a significant emphasis on improving the defense. Now, the Titans are better off defensively, and usually they are one of the worst teams defensively across 15 years. They're better off than the Dragons, the Eels, the Tigers, the Broncos, the Raiders, the Cowboys, that's it. So they are currently 7th. So they would be 10th or 11th for defense right now. And then you're also seeing now a more emphasis in regards to the attack, because whilst 11th, 10th isn't that great for defense, like at the end of the day, you set your defense and then you go forward on your attack because your defense is sorted, that's there, and now you can really go forward with your attack. Panthers have needed to have better attacks, and it's actually the beginning part of the season. I don't know if you guys can remember this, but the first couple of rounds we were like, well, the Panthers are winning these games quite well, but you can see the attack isn't actually quite clicking yet. But yet they'd still win 26-6 against the Sharks, and they'd still win 26-0 against the Broncos, but the attack wasn't actually quite clicking yet. So that shouldn't be the case. If you believe that, that's fine. You can believe that. You can think that, and maybe that is the case. I just don't think that's necessary for the Panthers. They should be focusing on the attack rather than defense, because the defense is already there. And the defense is already there. Seibold has been linked to PNG as an assistant coach. I almost want to time you out, Brenton, just for being the messenger of that. I almost want to. I'm not going to, but I almost want to. I do. I almost want to. Because that is just abysmal. I could see Manly beating the Sharks this weekend, by the way. I can see a world for sure. I can see a world for absolute sure where that happens. Michelle says, Rabbits top 7, so we have a chance this year. Not to win the premiership, but top 8, sure, but not to win the premiership. Jess says, morning, get around your Jess. Kate says, would like to see an Eels win, but don't see Panthers losing this one. Penrith 13 plus easy. Well, you can't call them Penrith after last week, man. They got slapped. I'm actually going to go the double. I am actually going to go the double Alamalti and Brian To'ohi. I'm going to back him in. I'm going to put Molatalo on the old Benjamundos. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go crazy, you lads. I'm going to go crazy. I'm going the double Brian To'o, put on Molatalo. I'm backing in the Panthers today on Simcoe Strath. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Bobby says, reckon Waz will drop the doggies. Yeah, I think the Warriors win that game. Interested to see how Moses goes back tonight, back at the club. Well, yeah, how long has he been out for? The entire Origin period? I think he came back for like one game and then went back to Origin. How many points need to make the top 8? For both these teams, Well, the Eels need 32, so they're on 18 right now. They would need 13 wins. They need 7 more wins for the season. They've only got 7 more games. So good luck with that. Good luck. And in their 7 games, they've got to beat the Panthers, the Tigers, the Rabbitohs, the Cowboys, the Dolphins, the Sharks, and the Dragons. It's just not happening. And then, for the Broncos fans here in the chat, you need to win 7 out of 7. And you have to beat the Cowboys, the Knights, the Dolphins, the Warriors, the Raiders, the Storm, and the Bulldogs. It's not happening. So yeah, that's the way home for both of these clubs. That's the way home. That's the way home. I know Cam Murray out. Mitch probably won't be back. Replace him. He's always injured. Casey says, ladder getting close now. Beloved Titans might lose first place. It's not happening. Casey, I don't think you really understand. It will never happen, son. The Titans will never fall off of first place. I can guarantee you that. It would just maybe mean that the Panthers might jump back up into the top 8, and maybe all that hard work for the Warriors could put them out of the top 9. You'd never know, but I can promise you that this team right here will always be there, son. Don't you worry. Don't you start getting scared. Never lost a game ever. Never, ever, ever. High score or low score, Jess says. I would go high score. I would go high score for this game. I think it might come from one team. But yes, I would go high score. Because the one team of the Panthers, what they need to do is prove themselves again. And they need to get back into form, and they want to play themselves into form. And who better to do it against the Eels, who obviously gave up 48 points to them earlier on the season? Who better? How do you think Jenkins will go at fullback? Jenkins isn't playing fullback. It's Jackson Edgar who is playing fullback. Jenkins is on the wing. Jackson Edgar is the one who's been brought in, and he'll come in as fullback. All right, so they're about to come out onto the field here. Hey, I don't blame you. Hey, listen, Branson, you're lucky I was this close. I was this close, son. Gee whiz. I was this close. But come on, give us a good game. I don't expect a good game here, but please give us a good game, boys. Please. Please, please, please. Give us a good game here, son. Oh, hold on. There we go. All right. Mango Dog says 3 tries each for Toto and Jenkins at 93. $5 bet pays $465. Good fun bet. Yeah, that actually is a pretty fun bet. The only issue for you, though, man, and I love it. I do. I think that's a pretty cool little side thing. But I'm in Kazakhstan, right, by the way, Ashwarya. That's why it says 2:50 my time. It's 2:48 p.m. over here. But yeah, Mega Dogs, the only issue is that they usually go down one wing or the other, right? They usually go down, the left or the right. Last week, they were going down the right with Brian Toto. And usually throughout this season, you were seeing Thomas Jenkins, obviously them going down their side. So 3 tries each is crazy, but is it out of this world? Against Parramatta's defense? Not necessarily. Michelle says, Mitchell too busy with his farm YouTube. Togo says, just got good fundamentals, all we need. Eden says, the 3 options I see happening in this game is Panthers 36-4, Panthers 12-8, or Eels 21-20. Why so specific? Why so specific? Of 3 different options. And also, so basically what you've just said is, you've just gone a real roundabout way of saying either Panthers win 1-12 or 13 plus, or Eels win 1-12. Yeah, Edgar is second most tries scored in New South Wales Cup. Decent. Yep, they've got a pretty good team, the old Panthers. They've got a pretty good depth team here, son. Pretty good depth team here, son. You know it, but all right. Bada boom, bada bing. It's time to get a ring on the Panthers versus the Eels. Hopefully it's not just an absolute drubbing, but also maybe it could be. Maybe it could be. Let's see how it pans out. So I think it's the Eels kicking off the Panthers, isn't it? Big crack off. Oh, no, Panthers kicking off to the Eels. Big crack off if the Eels pump them. If the Eels pump them, people will start to really reconsider what Panthers do this year. But all right, round 21 is underway, and the Eels will receive this ball here at the 5. Brian Kelly off to Sam Tuiviti. Brings it out to the 15 now on first tackle. And Brian Kelly now to the 25. I can't wait to get rid of this sickness, but when you travel, I swear you get sick more often than not. It'll be third tackle here for the Eels. They'll be at the 28. And they'll go to the left-hand side here to Talent Silver, who'll now be the 35 and 4 tackle. Jason says Para's got this. They're 100% winning rate, this jersey. Yeah, look, don't know about that one, man. Don't know about that one. And it'll be Kitiona Kautonga to the 45 on 5th tackle. And they'll kick this one away there, Mitchell Moses. It's not an awful set, not an amazing set, but definitely not an awful set there. And they'll bring it out here through Jackson Edgar to the 20 on 1st tackle. By the way, is this his debut? Or has he played like before off the bench or something like that? Has he been here before? Like I've seen his name and known his name for a while. I go to the left now, Tommy Jenkins. He'll get this ball to the 33 on 3rd tackle. If Panthers get pumped, this is where all betting changes of the year. Yeah, if Panthers get pumped, it's actually probably a good time to get on the Panthers, really. Even though like you'd be worried, but it's probably the best time to get on the Panthers. Lindsay Smith, he'll take this ball out now to the 50 on 5th tackle. What if they won 1 out of 1 in this jersey? I'll be honest with you, Jason. I just don't care about a 1-for-1 record. And who'd they play? Who'd they play in the game? If you tell me it was the Raiders, I'm going to time you out for 5 minutes. If you tell me that the 1-for-1 game was the worst Eels game of the season, they won 1-for-1, I'm timing you out for 5 minutes. The Eels are actually going to go through the line here. They're actually going to go through the line here, and then they're just going to run straight into the fullback, Jackson Edgar. And we're taking another 25. It was a good little run there, though. They go out to the right-hand side. Mitchell Moses. Moses now to Twavati. He'll be at the 15 on 4th tackle. Panthers are showing some seriously weird signs. Seriously strange signs in recent weeks. 5th tackle now at the 10. I think it's his debut, fair enough. So they go to the right, off to Volkman. Volkman kicks this ball across here for Moses. He's going to score. Mitchell Moses has caught it, and he's actually going to score to the post. Dude, Panthers, I don't know what they're doing recently. I don't know what they're doing recently, but Mitchell Moses has gone and scored a try 4-0 with a kick to come. Panthers, what's been happening with you recently? Rather, any team in the top 8, but the Warriors win the final. I would love the Warriors to win the final. Tasman, this is my general observation. Is league more about territory? I could be wrong, but they kick less than they do in Union. Union is about possession. Well, Union's definitely about possession. Defense later on. Well, it's like the Eels did score first against Melbourne Storm in round 1 this year and got beaten by 50. So like that doesn't mean anything. But with that being said, this is insane that the Panthers are still showing these rough signs in the last 3 weeks. Like this is poor in the middle here. Who gets out jumped? Lindsay Smith not there. Jackson Edgar is away from it, but Jackson Edgar had to come in to make the tackle on the inside. And then, yeah, Moses just gets it and Lindsay Smith gets out jumped there. Jackson Edgar probably had to get there a little bit quicker. But it will be 6-0 to Parramatta with 36 minutes to go here the first half. They will get the conversion. Great start. Yeah, what a start with a real home team here, because obviously the Panthers play their home games here as well. Do you think Edwards gets that? I think he's probably in a better field position, yeah. Like, obviously, Jackson Edgar, he's going to have his teething problems here today. And I think Dylan Edwards probably does get back quick enough to put up a play for that. I hate the damn well told you folks. You know, I just time him out. So, moderators, you can just time him out. But if someone comes in here, they try to get the ego going, you know the drill. Just time him out. It's stupid. Oh, jeez, he only knocked the ball on a first tackle. Which just wasn't the greatest of kicks either. No, I thought it was actually a pretty good kick. In front of Volkman, puts the ball in right under the post in a perfect area, actually, where Moses can get underneath it. I disagree. I thought it was a great kick, actually. And the Panthers just didn't react to it well. Jason said the joke, I was going to call Moses a try scorer. Well, third tackle now for the Eels, and they'll be the 40. Is there a chance Ivan is already handing most of this team preparation to Wallace? No, not a year and a half away. No way. A year and a half away? No way. Ivan Cleary's still got another year in his contract next year. Get around your Brocky. So fifth tackle for the Eels at the 50. Moses is going to step around, and I tell you what, like the Panthers are looking just very... And there's a penalty coming up here for the Panthers, offside against the Eels. That is probably the worst thing you could possibly do when you've got the upper hand. My bad, I thought it was Ivan's last. No, Ivan's definitely got still next year. Unless I'm wrong here. Someone can tell me I'm wrong. I'm pretty certain that he's got one more year left. All right, so first penalty of the night. Now the Panthers are not going to kick the ball out in the full. Okay, you know what? I'm starting to get really concerned here about this Penrith team because that is fucked. That is stupid. You're telling me they can't even kick the ball out on the full right now? Since when do the Panthers, when are they not this clinical? And that's the thing. The Eels can go and score here. And this right now is telling me that the Panthers are having their own internal issues because this happened against the Cowboys. This happened against this knock-on from Mitchell Moses, which is awful because you need to punish him for that. The Panthers deserve to be punished for that error just now, and Mitchell Moses is going to knock this ball on here because these errors happened against the Titans. These errors happened against the Cowboys. These errors happened against the Brisbane Broncos, and these errors are happening already against the Eels. Nathan Cleary... I feel like, I'm going to put a question out here. I think Nathan Cleary is currently having contract negotiations. I think that he is currently in the midst of talking about where he actually wants, what he actually wants to do with his long term. Because right now, Nathan Cleary is looking completely off the play that typically he usually is. Whether that was in Origin in Game 3, he was fantastic in, or, throughout this season, he is looking like a completely different player in recent weeks, and I'm really concerned right now. He's going to really turn up, and hopefully this is just the early part of this game. Hopefully this is just the early part of his game because we know that he is the best player in this game. We know he's far better than the inexperience he's showed over these last couple of weeks. So full tackle now for the Panthers. They're going to be 18 metres away from the line. 18 metres away, they give it to Nathan Cleary. A try here would be huge for him to go against that. That'd be huge for him to go against it. So fifth tackle now for the Panthers. They go to the back here, Nathan Cleary. Cleary at the back again. Alamonte pushes away from one, offloads to Brian To'o. Knock on from Brian To'o. And it will be a 6-0 to the Eels, and Panthers make the mistake on the attack. Good work here from Alamonte to push off of Adokar, but yeah, because he's fallen over, he's just trying to force any kind of offload that he possibly can, and Brian To'o, he cannot... by the way, if you're a Warriors fan, you're loving this. If you're a Roosters fan, you're loving this. If you're a Sharks fan, you're loving this, because you've got a chance in the minor premiership if the Eels can do something here. Yeah, I've got a chance in the minor premiership if the Eels can get a win here. Second tackle here at the 20. Panthers can't be on fraud alert. They're not in the top 9. So they'll go to the 28. If they were in the top 9, they would have been on fraud alert weeks ago, mate. Well, they would have been on scam after the Titans game, and they would have beaten the Rabbitohs, and then... Oh, that's going to be a penalty here to the Eels. I tell you what, this Panthers team looks shit right now. They look awful. This Panthers team right now is looking dreadful. Like, this is looking really poor. They are playing right now like a bottom 6 team is. This is really, really poor. 9 minutes in. Ash Warriors says, as a Warriors fan, I can confirm I'm loving this. Yeah, fair enough, man. Because you get to still play this Panthers team, and so do the Roosters. All right, so the Eels now will be at the 30 on first tackle. If the Eels can find another here, it would send shockwaves to the Panthers. Volkman off to Kitiona Kautonga. And Kautonga's going to be the 25. Must be a tough time to be a Panthers fan, really feeling for him. Mitchell says, tough time for Panthers fans, mate. Yeah, they're going through a rough one. They go out to the right, and now they'll be at the 20 on third tackle. 20 at third tackle off to Mitchell Moses. You've got to punish him for these errors, man. And there's an Eels knock on. Luca Moretti will knock it all on. They flick that ball off to Brian To'o, and To'o will get this ball to the 10 on 0 tackle. Just here, there's no advantage there, so it's going to come out here to the Panthers at the 22. It's looking like one of those games already. So 30 minutes to go, the first half. Guys, hit that like button and subscribe. Probably a bad one there from Volkman as Moretti is running onto it. Just goes straight into the chest. Eels are matching the shit play, yes, but at least they've... Well, theirs is expected. The Panthers one isn't expected. Then as Lindsay Smith tried to pass that ball back to Edgar, he completely missed him, by the way. Munster has been linked to Papua New Guinea going to visit while he's off with injury, but if they hold out on him, make you think if they do have a Cleary contract nearly signed, I don't think Papua New Guinea is going to be able to get Cleary. If they do, that's insane. That would be actually insane. Panthers lose this and suddenly turn up from next week when they're most likely equal with the Wars and Chooks. Panthers nearly get through here. Great run from Lindsay Smith. Panthers lose this and suddenly turn up from next week when they're most likely equal with the Wars and Chooks. I'm sure people will start questioning things. Cleary, right-hand side. They give it off here to Jackson Edgar and they'll beat the 45. I don't know what you're saying. I think that I've already started saying, like, the Roosters and Warriors game, I'm sure the Panthers will be at their ever so glorious best when they take on the two of the better teams in the competition. I'm sure they do. I'm sure that'll be when they look amazing. So Nathan Cleary, he's going to kick this ball across. Jenkins, not going to play it. Casey McLean gets taken down. And Brian Kelly's going to bring this ball out here to 25 or so on first tackle. Like, now we're not even seeing Jenkins compete for the ball. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? The Panthers aren't even competing on the high ball now. What if they offered Cleary his own little island or something off the coast? Well, I don't know if they could do that, considering there's already a new country starting up. I think it's next year or the year after, called Bougainville Land or something. Bougainville. Like, they've actually separated from Papua New Guinea, and I believe they're their own country coming up. It's actually called Bougainville. Bougainvillea. Is it genus of thorn? No, not Bougainvillea. Country. Oh my gosh, it's going to be another penalty here. Far out, Panthers. It's going to be another penalty on fit tackle too. Well, how do you blame Lindsay Smith for that? Like, what can Lindsay Smith do? How can he clear the ruck of that situation? Talon Silver has deliberately gone right in on him, and then it's fallen over. How can you blame Lindsay Smith for that? Bougainville is currently an autonomous region within Papua New Guinea, located in Solomon Sea. I'm pretty certain it's getting its own country. I'm pretty certain it is. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know about that, considering they're already losing places. Jeremy says Cleary could sign a bigger contract than Tamalolo. Well, how old is he now? 27? Is Nathan Cleary 27 or 28 now? I don't know if you're going to be given a 10-year contract, but maybe. They go out to the left-hand side. I think you'd more so be looking at a 5 to 7-year contract. So second tackle at the 10, Volkman. Mitchell Moses, short ball. Look at this defense. I'm telling you, Penrith are all over the shop. I'm telling you, the Eels are doing nothing here. Panthers are playing really, really poor. Look at this defense. I promise you, Newtown Jets would have scored through this defense. This is not linking up right now. This is not aiming up. This is not aiming up. I don't believe this. I don't believe what I'm watching from the Panthers right now. I don't believe it, because that hole is just way too open. Nathan Cleary doesn't kick the ball out in the full. You're telling me that they're going to give away multiple penalties to get the Eels into the attack in 20. The only reason the Eels haven't scored more is because they keep knocking the ball on uncontested. I don't believe this in the Panthers. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. No, it's not something to assist. I just don't believe what the Panthers are doing here. I don't believe it. I'm sorry. This does not make sense in regards to anything in rugby league. The Eels should not be up 10-0 over the Panthers. Panthers, this is looking like absolute proof that they have clocked off at this point of the season, because this is pathetic. Isaiah Papali'i, what the fuck is that? Blaze Talangi has been disappointing all damn well season. I don't believe that this is the Penrith Panthers right now. They are playing like a bottom 4 team across the last month, and this is insane, because the Eels are nowhere near good enough to be up 10 to 12-0 right now against first position. Nowhere near. I don't believe what I'm watching. It's actually annoying to see what we're seeing right now, because I do not believe the Panthers are playing as hard as they possibly can. I don't believe it. I don't believe that they're playing as poorly as they are. I don't believe it. When you watch every single game, this does not make sense. Brandon says, this is the bookies making people think that Parra will cause an upset, then Penrith flip the switch after half-time. Potentially that, but this does not make sense in regards to rugby league. It does not make sense. It does not make sense. Is this the wooden spoon insider? You'd honestly be looking at it and be thinking that if you watch how Penrith are playing right now. 26 minutes to go here this first half. I don't believe what I'm watching. Alrighty, so they're going to hit this ball down here to the 8. Brian Kelly gets it off. You watch Penrith give away another penalty on this set. First tackle now at the 15. And they go to the left-hand side of Brian Kelly. And Brian Kelly's going to get this ball here to the 25. Watching you give away another penalty. When was the last time Nathan Cleary did not kick the ball out in the full from a penalty? When was the last time we've seen that? I don't believe it. They go out to the left-hand side, and Isaiah Yong is going to get this ball here to the 40 because that defense just then, and they give away. Oh, they lost the ball. I was going to say, if they gave away a penalty then, I would have lost it. I would have lost it. Jess with the £2 donation says 11.5 M&D for the win. Let's get that cure found. Get around your Jess. Awesome to see you getting the win there for M&D. I'm telling you right now. So anyway, thank you for the donation. I'm telling you right now, you might be on to something here, Brenton. You might be on to something because the only reason the Eels haven't scored more tries is because they are the ones knocking the ball on uncontested. So first tackle at the 20, at the 39. Liam Martin's going to bring this ball here. Now show me the enthusiasm that we see from you every week. So 6 again now for the Panthers. And that's the first 6 again we've seen this entire game so far. First tackle. Jess is on point like the Panthers. Jess is on point. Isaiah Yo, Nathan Cleary, Isaiah Papali'i. And Isaiah Papali'i is going to be the 15 now in second tackle. He's going to be told to go back to the 15. Yep, he goes back half of a centimetre, and the referee says, yep, that's fine. So Lindsay Smith now, he's going to be the 13 on third tackle. Freddie Lussick to Nathan Cleary. Cleary to Blaise Talangi, and Talangi. Fourth tackle now to 10. Out the back, Isaiah Yo, quick pass, Jackson Edgar. Jackson Edgar is going to be 10 metres away, fifth tackle. Fifth tackle. They go to Nathan Cleary, and Cleary's going to kick this ball across now to Thomas Jenkins' side. Jenkins goes up for it. He will offload it. He'll get it to Case. Case McLean's actually scored this try. That's actually insane. I don't know how Case McLean scored this try, but he's actually scored this try, and it's 12-4 here, the kid to come. And the interesting thing here is that Penrith are usually, and this is why it makes even more no sense, the Panthers usually dominate first halves and then fall away second halves. Was exactly, well, they didn't even dominate the first half last week. Still fell away second half. This team doesn't play second halves well, so I'm really interested to see how they're going to play this second half. But so far, it's 12-4 here. They will get this try. This is a really strong try from Case McLean. Most wingers go out there. Most wingers go out. Oh, that's a great try. Oh, that's a nice try there from Case McLean. That's a really nice try there from Case McLean. That's really strong. I would say 99% of wingers go out there. Will Penasini is not he is a tough centre. Like 99% of wingers go out there. That is a strong try. 12-4 here with 23 minutes to go the first half. Schwartz says, let's go. I still don't trust it. But Case McLean goes over. It was a good, they didn't even contest Thomas Jenkins just then. They didn't even contest him. 22.5 minutes left. Wait, have they just had time off? Oh, no. I thought he was trying to say this was going to the bunker. But no, it's been confirmed. He dropped the ball in the replay. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. So Nathan Cleary here from the wing. No, King Kong, what game are you watching right now, man? No, he did not. Nathan Cleary here from the wing. He will get... Wow, he's actually shaved the inside of the post there. 12-6. 12-6. Yeah, King Kong, I test him, man. So I know who King Kong is. King Kong, what are you talking about? He's not even close to a knock on here. Oh my goodness me! What are you talking about? No, King Kong's a Manly fan, Brenton. He ain't an Eels fan. King Kong's a Manly fan. King Kong, are we watching the same game here, man? So they'll get this ball over to this left-hand side. The Panthers now will get this ball off to who is that? Can we see? Well, first tackle. And they go to the right side. Isaiah Papali'i. Papali'i, another 20. Sean Smith says you need a complete separation for that to be knocked on. It wasn't even close to a knock on, man. It wasn't. Like, not even close. Third tackle now at the 25. And it's Yo with a strong run there to the 33. Close to a penalty there. They give out to Moses Leota. Leota to Nathan Cleary. And Cleary is going to show the ball there rather than pass it. Okay. So, that's going to be Blaze Salungi who puts this ball up. So, 34-metre game from the Panthers. Not good. Jenkins actually going to compete for this. Wow. So it's going to be a knock-on even Milky Jenkins, but at least we're seeing some care factor here from the Panthers. There was separation. So, King Kong, I ask you this question. So, I didn't see it. Nobody here in the chat has seen it. The commentary didn't see it. And the bunker didn't see it. And the referee didn't see it. Usually, if there was separation, you would have seen... I would have definitely called it out. And this is the thing. I'll call it out when I see it. And most fans will, but we're all under the same agreement here. So why are we trying to pinpoint and try to disagree with a referee's call when nobody else is disagreeing with it? There was no separation there. Who's your dealer? So we've been tackling, like, we're trying to knuckle down on a call here that nobody else disagrees with except for yourself, King Kong. Don't start with the momentum again, Just Another Human, please. Please. Don't do this again. Pull out a multi, you'll grab this ball, and it'll be taken out of the 15 on first tackle. And now it's going to be Nathan Cleary who brings his ball out into the 23 on second tackle. 20 minutes to go in the first half. Guys, hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new around here. We've got to call out. We've got to hold refs accountable for blatantly wrong calls. But that's not a blatantly incorrect call. But you've absolutely... There's no problem with the fact that you're questioning a King Kong. But the problem is that there are much bigger fish to fry than a game like a call like that has... Starters is called a try 24/7, and nobody has a complaint with. The ones we should be complaining about, is the one that the NRL called, that it was not it was definitely offside against Reuben Garrick. That one should be called out. We should also be calling out the fact that forward passes don't exist anymore. With the Warriors game against the Dragons, that was outrageous. And the list goes on. The obvious ones like that need to be called out. Ones that you're talking about there where there's like maybe a 0.0000.00.001 of a potential separation, it just is never going to fly in any world. So I lock in on the forward passes of the Warriors and the offsides of your Reuben Garricks. They're the main ones that we've got to be really talking about here. Knock on from Adokar. Panthers ball at 22. Because Panthers are the darlings of the league in the game. Sure, but they also got pretty roughed up last week by the Bronx. I still don't think that the Panthers were the better team. Broncos were the better team, but they still got roughed up by the officials in that game. But usually the Panthers will cop the good calls, yeah. Usually. Panthers turn up, they can still win this half easily. There's like 18 minutes to go here. The NRL came out and said the DWZ pass wasn't forward. Exactly, so lockdown on that, because that was clearly forward. Clearly. Like, it was clearly forward, because you can't even argue backwards out of the hands, because there's no backwards out of the hands. Like, that one's ridiculous. At the very least, they said that Garrick was offside, which was just outstanding. Outstanding that didn't get picked up live. But at the very least, they called that. But I know as a Dragons fan, you're going to be really aggrieved with the fact that the forward pass was not called. Good chase here. Oh, Yongi gets a good take. There was some great chases from Alamotti and Brian Tuttle, and oh my gosh, it's a knock-on from the Eels. Oh my gosh, there's a knock-on from the Eels after the decent start. It's like, and this is the thing, the knock-ons have killed the Eels in this game. Like, Panthers were giving them everything in the first little bit, but yet the Eels have still kept coming up with knock-ons there. A ball stayed in King Kong's eyes. League also credits Alan Martinez-Leziak with a passing touchdown. Yep. To be fair, I don't even really care if the NRL admits that a call they got was wrong, since nothing is going to be done about it anyway. We most likely see another offside this week. Yep. Every Monday I hear an apology about a Titans game. Doesn't mean we deserve to win the game, but every Monday I hear about it. So first tackle now for the Panthers. They're going to be 10 metres away from the line. First tackle. 17 minutes to go the first half. Lussick to Isaiah Papali'i. And Papali'i will be 5 metres away from the line. Second tackle here. Lussick. They go quickly to Lindsay Smith. And Lindsay Smith's going to be third tackle, 3 metres out. He'll need to cut out the body errors. Yeah, but that's what happens. Leota. Oh, Leota, mate, you're not a halfback. Pass the ball, bro. Lussick goes quickly, and I think he's going to be held up here. Oh, no, they're going to call try. No, they're going to call held up, yeah. I think he's held up. This has been a really selfish set here from the Panthers. One, you had Lindsay Smith being selfish. Two, you had Freddie Lussick. Well, like, at the end, he's going for it. Like, I would hate this one the least of the lot. It's going to be held up. But I hate this one the least of the lot. But the one from Moses Leota there, bro, you're never scoring there. Like, Leota is never scoring that try. Never. The Eels are... it doesn't matter who you are defensively. You are not conceding that try. Leota, you've got to pass that ball to Nathan Cleary. And they would have had plenty of space on that right-hand edge. But it's going to be held up here. It's about time touches do something or get rid of the salary off the books. Realistically, touches don't really serve that much of a purpose. Well, they don't. Not really. And they go to the left-hand side here. Zio, Nathan Cleary. Clear at the back of the place. Talangi to Casey McLean. It's fit tackle, dude. No, I don't... I'm sorry, but what do you mean? Why is Nathan Cleary short for him just to pass it to Blaze Talangi so that he can pass it to the centre who was already in the line? Since when do the Panthers play like this? Why are we seeing a halfback pass it to a 5'8", who then proceeds to pass it to no hole, just a centre, who's going to run it straight at the line where the players are? There is no designed play there for a fit tackle option. Since when do the Panthers not have designed fit tackle option plays with their halves? It's not about kicking the ball on fifth, Sean. There was no set play for the Panthers. It doesn't matter. You can have a set play that goes for a ball run into the line. There was no set play there. Did the Eels just knock that ball on again? No, it's gone backwards, luckily. Penrith looking clueless. They do. They're looking clueless right now. Nathan Cleary's got to step up here. You know what's crazy? Jackson Edgar's probably been their best player so far. Jackson Edgar has probably been the only one who looks like he truly gives a shit right now. They go to the right-hand side to Brian To'o, and To'o's now going to bring this ball to the 33 on third tackle. Out to the left. And now they'll be at the 45 on fourth tackle. And now they'll be at the 50. Fifth tackle. I hate the refs getting it wrong, but I feel like Andrew Webster's saying we have to take the ref out of the game. If the team is good enough, the ref doesn't matter. Well, it's not what Andrew Webster said. That's what everyone says. Like, that is a common notion for a long time. Yeah, of course you've got to take the referees out of the game. That's not an Andrew Webster saying, bro. That is... Oh, it's going to be a penalty here to the Eels. I tell you, this Panthers performance has been pitiful, man. It's been pitiful to watch. But, yeah, of course you've got to take the referees out of it. You do. You've got to take the referees out of it. So, penalty for an offside here. This has been such a bad performance from the Panthers, man. Panthers will look like this for the next 5 weeks until they score 90 in the last round. That is just like what a Panthers team does. Like I said, I just wouldn't be surprised if they decide to look their very, very best and look absolutely perfect come the Warriors and Roosters games. You watch them look shit out these next 2 rounds, and then when they play the Warriors and the Roosters, just look at them, decide to play like absolute, just decide to play gangbuster. You watch. Alrighty. So now they're going to be third tackle here, out to the right-hand side to Kelvin Tuilagi, who's on the field now. Fourth tackle at 24. Alamotti been well under average this year compared to last, bit like Shibasaki. Yeah, you're probably right. They go out to the left-hand side. Now Jordan Samrani be fit tackle at 13. You could nearly guarantee they could lose these next 2 games and then go and beat the Warriors and Roosters. And the Panthers will drop the ball. And it will go knock on. I think that's gone backwards, to be fair. They're probably going to challenge this. But does that not just go backwards? They're going to challenge this. I'm pretty certain this does go backwards. So on-field ruling is knock on Penrith. I swear this was just going backwards. Oh, is it play slowing again, is it? And wait, who's the arm there? It comes off the Parramatta hand first. Well, hold on a second. Yeah, but hold on a second. Look a little bit longer at a bunker here. There's a lot of scramble here. Well, how can you say that's knocked backwards here from Parramatta? How can you guarantee if he said that comes off Parramatta's hands first? How can you say that goes backwards? But what are you talking about? But how can you say? So they've said the Eels touched this ball first. How can you say that ball's not going and knock on? And also, the ball's coming backwards the entire time. What does King Kong think? Sean Smith says. I think that's awful cool. Well, I just don't understand how the ball hasn't even touched the ground. So the ball hasn't even touched the ground there. So how can you call that as a knock on? And also, he said that the Eels player touched the ball first and then guaranteed the ball went backwards, which I don't know how you've come to. But then secondly, has said that there's no negation. No, he didn't negate the ball going forward, so that means that it's a knock-on. But the ball never even touched the grass, did it? Did the ball touch the grass just then, guys? Or did it touch an Eels player? Because otherwise, how is it a knock-on? By the fact that it didn't get negated. So Eels now at the 15. Now it's third tackle at 10. Max Watson says, I also don't understand why they don't actually show the onside chase as being cleared. They just say kick chase through or good. I guess because trust them. Yeah, fair enough. Tuilagi is going to get caught here at the 3 or 4 tackle. It was actually a good pass there for Mitchell Moses. Off Penton's foot. So if it comes off Penton's foot, how is it a knock on? Maybe we're all just living in a simulation and it is whoever is in the bunkers world. I just don't understand. I didn't see the ball hit the grass there or an Eels player. That's a knock-on here from the Eels. And it'll be... well, it's not going to be called knock-on. It's just going to be Eels ball to 5. Panthers ball to 5. Bunker, it was the Earth's gravitational pull and the El Nino effect. We have a decision there where we says, if the ball never touched the grass and the ball never touched an Eels player after the Panthers player touched it, and yet it's just come off of his own legs, how can you call that a forward pass or a knock-on? How can you say that's a knock-on? The ball has not touched the grass or the opposition team. The ball is still in the air. Fuck the negating thing. What is the ball, you didn't deliberately kick the ball up into the air, so that means it's a knock-on? That is the most ridiculous thing ever. The ball never touched the grass, so how... What? The ball never touched the grass. The Gus even said on Channel 9, the bunker's in another reality. Exactly right. How can you say it's a knock-on if the ball never touched the grass? It's fifth tackle at the 45. Oh, yeah, it's Klein, isn't it? Klein is in the bunker right now. Yeah, you're right. It is Klein. Working air, bud. Oh, my gosh. I thought I saw Tuilagi touch the ball when he was on the ground, not when he kicks it, but before. But that's not what the bunker's called. The bunker is called the knock-on because he's saying that the ball, you have to negate the ball going down intentionally. So because he didn't intentionally kick the ball backwards, it's classed as a knock-on because if you remove the legs, it's a knock-on. Because you don't intentionally kick it there instead of knock on. That's what his call was. Ashley Klein is something else. And that's going to be a 7 tackle set here for the Panthers. That was a good weight there from Jackson Edgar. Maybe they said it was the other Panthers player that knocked it on into Tuilagi's foot. I don't know. No, what he's saying is that he didn't intentionally kick the ball, so essentially remove the legs, because if you're not intentionally kicking the ball, then it's just straight up and knock on. That's what he's saying. So first tackle here at the 30. It's insane. So now it's going to be Thomas Jenkins who brings this ball to the 38. Ashley Klein watches the game on his phone. Ashley Klein watched the game. It's Nathan Cleary at the back here to Jackson Edgar. Edgar over the top here to Brian Tuttle. Brian Tuttle's got some space here. And he'll get taken. No, he's still going at the 50, now the 45 on the Eels side of the field. 10 minutes to go the first half here, guys. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new around here. And I think that's a 6 again they've just called. Yeah, it is. It's 0 tackle. So now it's going to be Panthers first tackle with 35. Nathan Cleary. Papali'i. Papali'i gets the ball offload to Cleary. And Cleary's going to run this ball himself now. And he'll now get this ball to the 20 on second tackle. Gary says, I've been watching this game for 40 years and I'm more confused now than when I was a kid. I give up sometimes. It's actually insane, bro. I agree with you. I'm younger than you, but at the end of the day, I get what you're saying. Nathan Cleary gets the offload away to Zayo. Zayo Blaze Talangi. Blaze Talangi gets taken down 5 metres out. 4 tackle. It's Papali'i. He'll get that ball left-hand side to Thomas Jenkins. Jenkins will go over the sideline. It's just dumb footy from the Panthers. I'm sorry, but it's just dumb footy from Penrith. I'm sorry, but you can clearly see that there is not enough room on that sideline there, Jenkins. Is Papali'i passing the ball here? It's like he's a back rower, like he's going to do this. But Jenkins, you can clearly see you don't have the space here. Why don't you go down? Or why don't you pass the ball there? Like, that's a very clear, I'm going over the sideline at every moment there. That's a very clear. And Jenkins is hobbling right now. God bless him. And now it's going to be Eels at the 15. You're going out in that situation. You are. Why don't you go down there? You're 5 metres out when you're trying to push past one player. And there's 2 players to the left-hand side who are closer to the sideline that are going to drag you across. Now it's third tackle with the Eels, and they're going to be at the 28 on their own side of the field. Remember when they introduced the bunker, it was meant to be a positive game changer. It started well. The bunker is just the video ref. It's just that they're claiming there's more camera angles. The bunker is essentially just the video ref. And now Kitiona Katonga to the 38 on fifth tackle. The only thing that I can come to terms with here is that the Panthers are trying to sacrifice their first half to get better in second halves because they know that's more important. That's the only thing that would make sense. I'm not saying that's the truth. I'm just saying that's the only thing that would make sense of why the Panthers have been so ass in first halves recently and so poor in second halves, but better in second halves. But at least, yeah, it's like they've been sacrificing the first to try and run it home in the second, but they just don't really even run it home in the second. Brian Tuttle with a good run there to the 40. Good tackle from the Eels too, though. Adamotti back onto the outside here. Adamotti still going here. Great run. Good offload to Nathan Cleary. And Cleary gets his ball across here to Isaiah Yeo. Isaiah Yeo is going to hit this ball right up to the 40 on fourth tackle. Nathan Cleary out to Blaze Talangi. Blaze Talangi, he's just so pointless, this Panthers team, man. He really is. Isaiah Papali'i to Nathan Cleary. And Nathan Cleary's going to kick this ball back here to Jenkins' side. Jenkins is going to go... He's nowhere even close to it, mate. He's nowhere even close to it. No, it's not even that the Panthers are playing shit in the first and somewhat better in the second. They're not even... I don't even know. I'm just trying to come up with an understanding for why they are as bad in this first half. I'm just trying to figure it out. The Eels have still knocked the ball on a whole hell of a lot here. The Eels are still not being great here. 4 tackling out of 35. I look forward to look at these stats. I do. I look forward to seeing what the stats say. 45 metres away from their own line here for the Eels. 5.5 minutes to go the first half. And Moses will kick this ball down here to the 10. Honestly, when Panthers are full strength, would you switch Jack Cogger to 5'8" and Talangi to 14 utility? Well, they're not going to do that because they've put a lot of belief in Blaze Talangi going forward. But I just don't know. Talangi is not proving to do anything. It's like he is just coasting alongside Nathan Cleary. It's like he's just coasting alongside him, that he just doesn't believe he has to really do too much because Nathan Cleary's going to do it all, which is so incorrect. So they go to the left-hand side to Isaiah. And now the Panthers are going to bring this ball here to the 40. And they're starting to get a bit more of a move on now. Liam Martin gets the offload away to Nathan Cleary. Cleary up to Blaze Salangi. Well, Blaze, just play as a back rower, bro. Like, all you're doing is running the ball right now. Fit tackle. They give it to Nathan Cleary at the 30. And he's going to put this ball up again here. Jenkins side. Jenkins running ball through. Goes up for it. Isaiah Yongi. Great play there. This is going to be Parramatta ball at the 2. Good work there from Isaiah Yongi under a lot of pressure. Good work. Coasting along Cleary sounds familiar. Yep. Well, it's like he brings that trade out in guys. Like, they just feel like they don't need to do as much because Nathan Cleary is going to do it all. At least with Jerome Luai, who he's obviously referring to here. At least with him, he has done it at Samoan level. And he did hold the line for the Panthers when Cleary would be out. I do think that Luai was still far better than what we're seeing here from Blaze Salangi. And I call Blaze Salangi... I call Blaze Salangi as a breakout play this year, but fuck me drunk and call me Stacey. This Panthers team is awful. I'm going to say it. Panthers fans, you should be livid with this. You should be livid with this. That is an awful kick there from Mitchell Moses, and Brian To'o has allowed the ball to go over the sideline. That is an awful kick from Mitchell Moses. The Eels are ass, bro. The Eels are just as ass, but the Panthers are playing even more ass, bro. This is insane. It's actually insane. I put this out there for Eels fans. Are you on the same wavelength in this game as well? Because if we go through the errors, I'm sure we're going to see it. It's not even the Eels are amazing here. The Panthers are just so poor in this last 4 or 5 weeks. So poor. Second tackling at the 12. It's amazing. It's amazing what we're seeing here. Left-hand side. And now they're going to get taken down here at the 10. This is a damn well ass off. It really is, Brenton. I'm losing my mind. But Warriors fans, you should be cheering. And Roosters fans, you should be cheering. Sharks fans, you should be cheering right now. Like, what is that from Mitchell Moses, bro? Why is he kicking the ball on third tackle into 100 Panthers defenders? I don't know if I can survive this game. I don't know. Where's my sniffage jar? Where's my sniffage jar? Like, where is it? Where's my bag? Oh, and that's a knock on from Panthers. I'm getting it. I'm doing it. All right. Love a Stacey rant. Bloody Stacey, I tell ya. When you watch every game, it hits you, right? Especially now that we're 21 rounds in. You just like... You watch every game. And you get to this point, you're just like... Who is this fraud? Who is this pretender? Who is this team who has sold us a lie every time they've played for so many weeks now? Oh, dude. Like, if Penrith lose, don't give a shit. It's not the point. Kelma Tuolangi, he's going to get this ball now to the 2. Get around your Mitchell, been mad for 36 months, and Angel Reese came is more quality than this. Angel Reese, gee whiz, me bounce. Third tackle at the 5. Such poor quality, just not the human. This is our first place team right now in this competition. It is our first place team in the competition. They kick this ball through here, and again, stupid. They've kicked the ball on third tackle again, bro. They've kicked the ball. Take a field goal, Parramatta, please. Please. And it's like you can't even say if the Panthers are playing... This is the crazy thing, right? You cannot say right now if the Panthers were playing a better team, they'd be down by 50. Because who is a better team? Because the Panthers are the number 1 team in this competition. You know what I mean? Like, how can we say, well, if they were playing a better team... And Nathan Cleary is going to kick this ball towards the sideline. Has he scored this try? No, he's knocked it on, has he? Brian Kelly wants to check. This is actually pretty cool if he gets it. If he gets this, is pretty cool. So this is Titans. Well, fair enough. Yeah, well, you beat them. So Brian Kelly, they get to the bunker. He looked like he's pretty honest here. He looks like he's pretty honest in the situation. Oh, he's behind a play when he kicks it. Oh, this might be called an obstruction here, penalty. No, they're not going to say it. They're going to say it's fine. Oh, well, Brian Kelly didn't look confident, which is the issue. Well, oh my gosh, Jenkins is having an absolutely awful game there. That's a penalty. They could actually make this argument for a penalty try here. They could. Oh, no way. No, you can't guarantee. Like, he doesn't. He would have knocked it on there. He knew it. It's a sin bin. Because there is players in the range of Freddie Lussick and also Casey McLean, this will be a bin for 10 minutes. That's the correct call. Jenkins is having a really mighty shitfest here today. Okay, so King Kong, bro, we're going to move on from that, man. That was the correct call at the beginning of the game. There's nobody has a problem with it besides you individually. I'm telling you, there was nothing wrong with the Penrith try. We need to move on from that moment. It's 12-6. And this is the fair score of this game. Panthers have been shithouse. Thomas Jenkins goes to the bin. This is so poor here from Penrith. Like, when people say if they verse a better team, doesn't that refer to a better team than the team they're versing? Like, for instance, if the Panthers verse a team better than Para? Well, yes, sure. But it's like, it's more so about just a team. They're going for the 2 here, so a penalty from the sideline. I would have chanced Young gone for a try here and kicked it back to the right hand side of Brian Kelly. But they will go for the 2 here from the sideline to make it a 14-6 game. When people say if they verse a bad team, they're usually, saying a team that's above them. Like, for example, if the Panthers played Sharks isn't a great example. If the Panthers played Warriors aren't a great example. Roosters aren't a great example. And this is what I'm saying. Who's a great example to use as a better team right now? Because I could easily see these teams tanking it up against the Panthers. You lost to Brisbane, Gold Coast, struggling against Para, and what do you mean a better team? Well, don't forget the Cowboys. Mitchell Moses here. They're saying to kick it across field. Mate, you do realise that you need to have a genuine attempt at it. He's missed the kick, and that's going to be Penrith who catch it. They go to the right side. Oh, don't do it. Alamotti. Oh, my gosh. If the Panthers had gone 100 metres there and scored, I might have thrown up myself because it would have been the most undeserving halftime score of all time. Well, halftime 12-6 of the Eels. Eels, look, you deserve to be winning, but my gosh, Panthers. My gosh. Because if we go... I want to have a quick look at these errors. To be fair, Para's errors aren't actually... Oh. Okay. So the defense of Parramatta is something. But the errors are not actually that bad. Let's get into the halftime stats. You guys keep getting involved in the chat. It really is anyone's comp right now, Bryce. You watch the Panthers still win the comp, but it really is anybody's comp as well right now. It really is, but with that being said, just watch them still do it, mate. You know that they just do, don't they? You know that they just do. But guys, do me a favour, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you are new around here. Let's get into the score, and don't forget we'll be live for every game. Every game of this round, as per usual. Now, the Eels 12, Panthers 6. It's a CommBank Stadium in Sydney. The try scorers Mitchell Moses and Jack Williams were 2 from 2 in the conversions for Mitchell Moses, but he has missed that penalty just now. Whilst the Panthers are a Casey McLean try and Nathan Cleary 1 from 1. And the sin bin obviously comes to Thomas Jenkins in the 39th minute there, so they'll be down a man until about the 49th minute, Now, possession, Eels 54%, Panthers 46%. That makes sense with this completion rate from the Panthers being just awful. So it is slightly too decently in favour of the Eels there. And then time and possession, 14 minutes and 31 seconds for the Eels, 13 minutes and 27 seconds here for the Panthers. You're looking for a 25-minute threshold, 25, 26, 27, basically 28 minutes there. You're pretty happy with that. You are. You're pretty happy with that overall. It is... very healthy. Now, completion rate, it's not healthy. Anything under 80%. Anything above 80% is very good. Anything under 80% is not healthy. Well, 81% for the Eels. That's good. 18 from 22. You're pretty happy with that one. Well, then you go to the Panthers, 71%. 15 from 21. That is Asola. That is not good there. 71% is nowhere close to good enough. Nowhere close to good enough. So, Panthers are going to wake up because they're losing this game right now based off of their own errors, which I'm sure are in the awful category. Now, when it comes to runs, 97 runs here for the Eels. You want to be looking for 970 run meters here? They're at 855. So, they are 115 meters behind the 10 meters in average per run that you're looking for. You want to be within 100. They're 115 meters away. It's not like awful, but it's not good enough there. You'd like to be seeing, like at a very least 870, 880 as a minimum, but they are at 855. So you'll take it. You do want more though. Panthers at 88 runs. You're looking for 880 meters here. 729. So they are 151 meters behind the 10 meters in average per run. So you can't even make the argument that the Panthers are doing more with the ball when they've got it. The Eels are doing more with the ball when they've got it. 9 runs a difference. But yet the Eels have currently got 126 more meters than the Panthers. So you can't even make the argument that the Panthers are doing more with the ball. Post-contact meters, 97 for 317 post-contact meters for the Eels. 88 for 277 post-contact for the Panthers. This is pretty equal. You'd probably put the Panthers at maybe about 300. So the Eels are still in the advantage, 300 to 317 to probably about 300 with an equal amount of ball. It's not good enough for the Panthers. The Eels are beating them in every statistic right now. Line breaks, 2-0 to the Eels. You're telling me that the Panthers have not had a single line break in a game against third last? Is this what you're really doing? You're telling me that the Panthers do not have a single line break in that game? I don't believe it. I don't believe this performance. Tackle breaks, 18 to the Panthers, 10 to the Eels. The Eels aren't making any tackle breaks. The Panthers are making all the tackle breaks. Average set distance, 25 metres and below is pathetic to the stream off. 25 to 30 is disgusting. 30 to 35 is underwhelming. 35 to 40 is hitting the marker. 40 to 45 is great. 45 to 50 is fantastic. And 50 plus is basically perfect. 38.86 here for the Eels. That is doing the job at a pretty good rate. It's getting close to the great category, but at the end of the day, it's still just doing the job. 38.86. Panthers at 34.73. It is underwhelming. It's not even hitting the 35 metre threshold. It's not even hitting the 35 metre threshold right now. They are nearly close to 4.5 meters. No, they're 4 meters behind the Eels right now. That's a lot. So the Eels are beating them out in that category too. Play the ball speed. Lisa Panthers winning this one. 3.19 seconds and below is extremely fast. 3.2 to 3.39 is fast. 3.4 to 3.59 is average. 3.6 to 3.79 is slow. And 3.8 and above is extremely slow. 3.42 seconds here for the Eels. That is on the really early side of average speed. 3.37 seconds for the Panthers. That is on the really late side of the fast speed. Only 0.05 seconds here. Not much of a difference at all. Offloads, 7-1 to the Panthers. At least they're getting some offloads away. But forced dropouts, 1-0 to the Eels. Kick defusal, 83% to the Eels, 33% to the Panthers. Effective tackle percentage, wow. You know what I mean? Wow. 85% and below is awful. 85% to 88% is underwhelming. 88% to 90% is hitting the marker. And 90% and above is basically perfect. The Eels are at 86.6%. That is underwhelming. 168 tackles made. 160 to 180 is the average. They're at 168, so right in the middle of the average. 18 missed tackles. Average is 15 to 17, so 1 missed tackle above the average. And the 8 ineffective tackles, 5 to 7 is the average. 1 above that. So 26 bad tackles through an average range of 168 tackles made. It's not good enough. It's underwhelming. And then you go to the Panthers. 93.56. That is basically perfect. 189 tackles made is 9 above the typical range of 160 to 180. 10 missed tackles is 5 below the average of 15 to 17. 3 ineffective tackles is 2 below the average of 5 to 7. So you've got 13 bad tackles here through an above average tackles made for a spectacular 93.56. You're telling me that the Panthers have had to make 21 more tackles. They've missed 8 less tackles than the Eels. They've missed 5 less ineffective tackles than the Eels. And yet they're down 12-6 right now. Right now, it's not because of their defense. It's because they're not clicked on. They're not clicked on, and their attack is in no way, shape, or form close to where they are expecting, because the Eels' defense isn't good. So this is purely based off of the fact right now, Panthers, that you are not clicking on your attack. Your attack is not clicking. You only scored 18 points against the damn well Titans. I don't even know if you scored one try in the second half late on there. I don't think you scored much in the second half against the Cowboys, if at all. I don't think you did jack in the game against the Broncos last week in the second half. I think you did in the Rabbitohs game, but like at the end of the day, you are the only ones to blame here because their defense is underwhelming right now. Your defense is spectacular, but you're still getting up 12 points here. You know, errors, 3 and below is really good, 4 to 6 is average, and 7 above is awful. 6 for the Eels is high average, 7 for the Panthers is low awful, but still awful. Since when? Since the Titans game. That's where this error rate has gone up, specifically the Cowboys game, because the Titans didn't actually make a great deal of errors. The Cowboys game was when they made a bucket load of errors. So 7 errors there for the Panthers. This is in line with how they're playing recently. Penalties conceded, 4-1 Panthers. So Eel disappointed there. Ruck and Fringes 1-0 Eels. Sim bin 1-0 Panthers. And that is still in the bin for the next 10 minutes. So I'm still going to tip the Panthers to, for some reason, some way, somehow find a way to win this game. Like, I just feel like they probably still just find a way somehow. But gee whiz, man. You know, gee whiz. They're not usually a good second half team. If you want to go based off of history, then you're taking the Eels here. You would. Sorry, I'm just messaging someone. Sorry, one second, I'm just messaging someone. All right, we're back. So remember for 59 months, get ready, Sunday, 59 months of your dribble. Gee whiz, how we surviving that. Roosters mind premiers incoming. There's the dribble I was talking about. How many NRL is in the situation where the Eels are struggling with meters? They have Moses to get them out of trouble. Backline needs more runs. The forwards are getting cut down and starting to play the ball. Agree. But also they've been in attacking range multiple times now. And they've decided to kick the ball on third. On third tackle. 5 meters out. Mitchell Moses kicked it directly, straight away to the Panthers on third tackle. And then you've also seen the same thing from, maybe it might have been Mitchell Moses again, I'm not too sure. But they've kicked the ball on third tackle multiple times now. Straight to Panthers players. And then with Brian Kelly just then, like, I give it a good go, and at least, you know, they got a bin out of it. But if they didn't get a bin out of that, you would have been like, well, it's a bit ridiculous. It's just a bit ridiculous. What's Milky Supercoach at the moment? I don't know. I've got Supercoach draft. I don't have Milky as Supercoach, but geez, he's been poor. I would not be surprised if he's quite really low. What's he on? He is currently on 20. It's actually higher than you probably would have expected, considering the game. Like, he's had a really rough game, even outside of that bin. Even outside of the bin, he's had a really, really rough game here. You know, it is crazy, though. I tell you what, the Panthers are very clearly right now missing... They're very clearly missing Dylan Edwards. And that's not even saying that Jackson Edgar has been bad. I think Jackson Edgar has actually been pretty solid for his debut. But I just feel like they're missing that real crucial solidity and experience out of Dylan Edwards from behind. I think they are. And again, I'm not trying to shit on Jackson Edgar. I don't think it's his fault. I think they're missing Dylan Edwards. Is it time to move on from Liam Martin? 40 minutes, 4 runs, 28 metres, 13 metres post-contact rubbish. So, Seb, this is actually an interesting question because Liam Martin has always kind of played like this. Like, Liam Martin is an impact player. He's not been an 80-minuter for a lot of it, but people will look at it as an 80-minuter. He comes in for the big play, but then does a lot of what you've just said. And it's been like that for a long time now. But he's amazing at the impact, but 80-minuter is a little bit of a maybe different story. Everyone thought the Milkman was going to deliver 3 times. Next minute in the bin, 0 tries. Good evening, mates. Damn, I'm late for this one. Yeah, well... Look, it's just been a blow-up, really, so far in this game. It's just been a bit of a blow-up central. Sorry, one moment again. It's still half-time. Give me one moment. Sorry, just meant not anything bad or anything like that. It's actually pretty exciting for BK travel, but you guys will see that. Homie also says, Martin is the definition of the stats don't show the impact. Sure, but also you want to be seeing the stats with Martin too. Like, yeah, but you can't just hide behind, okay, well, the stats don't show it, but he's there. Oh, well, we do want to see some stats, though, to back that up. Yeah, Edwards getting everyone back in line, sweeping attack has been missed. I think they're just missing. Yeah, I think they really are. I think the Panthers, they're in a bit of a worrying state because they're losing Ivan Cleary. There's no guarantee Nathan Cleary stays. They have lost a key portion of their core that won those premierships. Jerome Luai, Stephen Crichton. I would not be surprised if Brian To'o sometime decide to move on and maybe go to a Papua New Guinea. They're losing Ivan Cleary. I tell you what, like, this is giving you a bit of an insight into what the Panthers could potentially play like post. I apologize for my bad takes on Penrith dominating the game. Tiger Hood, you don't need to apologize for that. Just like I don't need to apologize for that. Nobody needs to apologize for that. You will say things before the game that make a whole bunch of sense. That doesn't mean they'll be correct. Every single statistic pre-game here shows the Panthers should have been winning this game by 50 to 60 to 0. Every single statistic showed that. Every statistic. Statistic is a hard word to say sometimes. Every statistic showed that the Panthers should be winning this game by so much. Just because it doesn't go down that path doesn't mean that you weren't led alive by them. Blame them. Blame them. Because they led you to believe this because these are the facts and stats. Same thing goes with the Eels. And then they've gone and the Panthers have played like the Eels and the Eels have maybe played like a... Who's the team? Manly. They've played like a Manly whilst the Panthers have played like an Eels. So it's blame them. Blame them. I'm a stats guy too. Well, I'm not even purely a stats guy. Like, I'll judge based off what I've watched, plus I'll use the stats and I'll put them together. But the stats do help and the watching does help. You put them together there overall. But, hold on. Just 5 or just after 5? Just after 5. Bang. All right, they're both out the field here. I want to use multiple different factors. Panthers were $1.15 favourites, don't apologise. Yeah, exactly right. You don't need to apologise for having an opinion on what should have been obvious. You can blame them because they are the reason it's underwhelming right now. They're the reason it's underperforming. It's got nothing to do with anyone but their own selves. The Panthers will bring this ball out here to the 15 on first tackle. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe for new around here. You never have to apologise for anything. At the end of the day, everyone's always just giving educated guesses. They are educated guesses. You read up on stats, you read up on form, you read up on all these, but that's still a guess. They go to the right-hand side, and the try predictor has the Eels at 59%, does it? Good luck with that. Well, to be fair, the Panthers do have man in the bin. Isaiah Yo, he'll get this ball all the way to the 45 on 4 tackle. Penrith going back to before Cleary. Oh, jeez. Well, they weren't awful, but they weren't good. They go Nathan Cleary now, and Cleary's going to put that ball up in the air. Surely Cleary stays. Like, really, surely he does. But then again, Papua New Guinea could be tempting. England could be tempting. I'm not sure. He's already proven himself. He'll already go down as one of the greatest players in the NRL history. Already. I tipped Broncos last week against Penrith, but couldn't do it again this week. Broncos made a lot more sense than what the Eels do, though. Because Ivan Cleary decided to leave. Do you think Ciraldo and Webster... Oh, have they knocked the ball on? No, he's said to go back half a centimetre. Because Ivan Cleary decided to leave, do you think Ciraldo and Webster jumped the gun by leaving Penrith? No. Andrew Webster took a Warriors team that was nothing into, a highly competitive team. Ciraldo took the Bulldogs to a somewhat decent team. But at the end of the day, they still won a finals game. Got knocked out first week of 2024. Bounced out in straight test last year, and then we've seen what's happened this year. So no, why? They're running their own teams. The Warriors could still finish above the Panthers this year. Attackers really off a cliff for the Panthers, except the Rabbitohs game. Yeah, but look at the Rabbitohs too. There's a reason for that as well. So the Panthers at the 35. This is pretty lackluster of a setting from the Panthers. Well, I don't know about revelation being the words, but he's been definitely solid, very solid there at the Warriors, but also hasn't been able to get them to that next point just yet. This is the year that he has to take them to that next level. Revelation's a big word. Fifth tackle. It's not like the Warriors were like last. They weren't great, but they weren't last. Playing some games with Jenkins in the bin. Jenkins in the absolute bin, son. Adokar, he'll bring this ball to the 30 on second tackle. How do you go from nearly perfect footy to this rubbish? This is a mental drop? I think so. Yep. Massive slump. Massive slump here from the Panthers. They just need to find their way back into playing like we know they can play. Tells you more about the Bunnies and the Panthers. Yeah, I would agree with that. So Brian Kelly's been pretty good today. It'll be fifth tackle here for the Eels at the 30. And Moses, he'll put a ball up in a pretty decent area. Shields should get it. They knock it back. It's going to be Panthers ball at 10. That was very lucky, though. Come off of his eye, Papali'i's foot onto... And lucky Brian Tuttle grabs his ball at 10. Now, Jet Cleary is a good little play coming through Funny Cat Viz. So that's why Warriors fans are pretty hopeful they can try and snag a Nathan Cleary. I don't think it happens. I don't know if they'll have the cap. But if they could snag a Nathan Cleary, it'd be massive. They go to the left-hand side to Liam Henry, and Liam Henry now to the 30 on fourth tackle. Tyler says, but guys, this is what happens when the first-place Titans beat you. This is true. An agonising sense of self-doubt, envy overwhelms as you realise you'll never be as good as the mighty Titans you just lost to. You know, see, this is the thing, and this is why, you know, I respect that you've said this, because... oh, no, they've knocked the ball on, have they? Oh, no, Panthers are claiming a penalty here. Panthers are claiming a penalty here. What's he going to call? Oh... I don't know. Do they call this as a penalty? I think they're going to say this is a dive into the legs. They might call this as a penalty to the Panthers. I'm not sure. I don't like it, but is that a legitimate hit or not? Yeah, no, it's a genuine tackle, yeah. Yeah, so it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. But yeah, that's the thing, Tom. You know, like at the end of the day, this is why I try to be nice to everyone and compassionate to everyone and say, hey, listen, like... Oh, that is so bad from Blaise Salangi. Oh my gosh, please get him off the team. Oh my gosh, Blaise Salangi is going to make me lose my mind, bro. Like, he is honestly a much better equivalent of Ethan Sanders right now. At least Ethan Sanders is showing some good signs. What has Blaise Salangi done at any stage of this Penrith Panthers season? What has he actually done at any stage of this Penrith Panthers season? He is quite literally coasting in behind Nathan Cleary. Ivan Cleary needs to have a word to him and say, wake up, dude, because your spot shouldn't be guaranteed right now because he's doing nothing for the Panthers. Absolutely nothing. Blaise Salangi has been the opposite of what I thought he was going to be this year. The opposite. Forward pass. No, third tackle at the 45. No, it was up around the hip is what they suggested. Well, that was pretty forward. Oh, luckily, Brian Tuttle chops him down there, gets the tackle at 30. Otherwise, that was going to be a try. They go quickly, left-hand side. They kick this ball through. Panthers will get it at the 5. Good work, Jackson Edgar. That was a nice little play there from the Eels, though, on 4 tackle. That was a nice little play. Brian Tuttle. Don't compare Bunnies to Panthers, different pay grade. What? What do you mean don't compare Bunnies to Panthers, different pay grade? Do you realise what your cap situation is like? What do you mean different pay grade? So the Panthers here at the 15. And Freddie Lussick now is going to bring this ball to the 25 on 4 tackled, or to 30 on 4 tackled. Good post contact there. Still not a great set though. Nathan Cleary on 4 tackle. What is this, dude? What is this? He's just booted the ball to the 25 and the Eels is going to catch it on the fall and take it out of the right, Brian Kelly. Just don't make a knock on. Don't make an error and you win this game here, Eels. Brian Kelly's been... Oh, it's a bad play the ball. That's a bad play the ball. Just as I was saying how good Brian Kelly's been, it's a bad play the ball. We've been robbed of the Sanders, Talangi, Haas pairing at Para would have fed generations. Oh, jeez, Mitchell. I couldn't think of anything worse. Yeah, it is a bad play the ball from Brian Kelly. Just as I was saying something positive about him. We've been percent Panthers win. I think the Panthers still win this game, Andrew, but jeez, they've been awful. Jeez, they've been awful. Penrith opening up the comp for everyone else now in current form. Yeah, but like the Roosters' current form isn't spectacular. The Sharks I'm still concerned about, but like at the very least, they're showing some good form, 7 from their last 8, with one of those being a 66-0 drubbing of a Dolphins team that was a top 4 team. You know, like, no one's really putting their foot down and saying this is our premiership to win. Nobody is really, or our premiership to lose. And no one's really putting their foot down. So second tackle now for the Panthers. Thanks for subscribing, Solomon. Get around you. I support the team that's the best team in the comp. First position. First position on the lineup, but Nathan Cleary to 30. Third tackle here for the Panthers. I'm glad the referee's kept his whistle in his mouth for the 6 against tonight, though, Jared Sutton. Fourth tackle here at the 20 for Paul Alamotti and the Panthers. Why hasn't been a fraud lot this year? Probably should have at one stage, though. It was a bit too nice at one stage. Blazer Lungy, left-hand side. And Billy Phillips will be 5th tackle, 5 mays out. They probably should have been Marcel. I balked at it because I didn't want to have to deal with the absolute... That's an awful kick from Nathan Cleary. Oh, he's so off of form, mate. Nathan Cleary since Origin 3 has been so off form. That is so bad. So now we're just going to see some good defense here from the Panthers. Keep him down here. Second tackle at the 5. At least we're seeing a close game here. At the very least, we are seeing a close game. You can criticise the quality. You can criticise the way the Panthers have played. But at the end of the day, you can't criticise how close of a game this is. So fourth tackle, just outside their 20. And Kitiona Katonga now to the 30 on 5th tackle. Why has it been close to fraud at certain stages but managed to come good? Now, there was a stage where they should have gone on fraud. I just didn't do it. I didn't have the balls to do it. Nowadays, I don't care. But at that stage, for some reason, I was just a little bit hesitant about the reaction to it. But I just... Yeah, they should have gone on it. I think it was after the... There's a game they lost, and I was like, oh, yeah, nah, they are, but we didn't do it. Marcus, Panthers vs Warriors was probably the best game this year. Yeah, no, it was. That was a great game. I will say this year, Mark, the competition has not been anywhere. Like, last year's game quality was so much better than this year. So far, anyway. This is like a hangover year after a 6 again for the Panthers. This is like a hangover year for the NRL, where last year was so electric and so exciting and so awesome. And this year's a little bit of a hangover from last year for mine. Panthers will be at 30. Second tackle. Someone says, hello, I reckon I'm better than Nathan Cleary. Well, that's great, mate. And I reckon I deserve a Ferrari and that you should buy it for me. How about that? Third tackle at the 18. 30 minutes to go. I would have no need for a Ferrari. I mean, Kazakhstan. 30 minutes to go here to game. Guys, hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe. Blaze Lungy, please. Has he knocked his ball on? And if it's gone backwards, I was going to lose my mind. I was actually going to get up. I was going to walk away. Blaze Lungy has the same impact as Ethan Sanders on this channel. He does. He really does. It really does. When Wise lost the Sharks for the second time, you're right, Dogwood. That's the one. Nathan Cleary, short ball. Liam Martin taken down to the 3. 5th tackle. 30 minutes to go. They roll back to Freddie Lussick. Nathan Cleary. Short ball. Try time for the Panthers. And they go over. They made an absolute meal of it, but the Panthers will score. I think that's Liam Henry, isn't it? Is that Liam Henry with a try? By the way, the Panthers have only just gone back to 13 on 13. It is Liam Henry with a try. Scores under the post. It's about to be a 12-12 ball game. When will the Panthers score? Andrew, I'm going to make a call. I'm going to say that the Panthers score at about the 51st minute or so. Maybe exactly 51st minute if I'm actually spot on. I'm going to make a call. I know you're going to call me crazy. I'm going to say that a prop. You won't believe it. I'm going to say Liam Henry scores a try at the 51st minute. All right, let's get back to the game. 50 minutes gone here. Nathan Cleary with the ball. He's going to pass it across to Liam Henry. Liam Henry will score at the post. Oh, my gosh. 51st minute in. I was perfectly. I called that, mate. I called that. How about that one? You like that one, Andrew? You like that one? Has Adokar done anything today? He's been on the field. He's been immediately, Andrew. I know, it's amazing, really. Like, it's incredible. You know, sometimes you just get it. I don't know if it's still a thing. I'm not sure. I think it is. I still follow him, but I just don't know if, like, they really pursued it. I'm not sure, though. I shouldn't speak about something I don't know. Great call. Yeah, it's like, Jess, I don't know if you know this. Remember that time that I predicted it took a to score a try? Remember that one time? Like, I know it's crazy. Could you imagine seeing somebody predict Stefano Utukamanu to score a try? Oh, I don't believe anybody's ever done it. I don't believe it. I don't believe that anybody has ever done it. Don't believe it, Jess. Don't believe it. Except for one man. One individual man. That's me. Remember it well. I know. How could you not remember it well, Jess? It's one of the greatest moments of human history. In human history. You know, the America's Cup win for the Aussies back in the 90s. You know, people think about when, you know, Jonathan Thurston kicked that field goal for the Cowboys back in 2015. Amazing moment. You know, all the times of Ian Thorpe, he swam at the pool. You know, with Kathy Freeman. When BKRsport predicted Stefano Utoikamanu to score a try down there in Melbourne a few weeks back. You know, these are the moments you remember in life. These are the moments. Forget England winning a World Cup, Jess. Think about Utoikamanu scoring again for the Storm. Oh, my gosh. Third tackle at 25. I don't know if it'll ever happen unless I call it. They go to the right-hand side. And now Liam Martin will get this ball to a 30 on fourth tackle. Eek says, you got a blow, mate. I don't even know what you're saying. But I don't know if I swing that way. I definitely don't swing that way, mate. So I don't know what you're trying to suggest there. But fifth tackle here at the 45. Draws coming in the NRL. No, usually we will get one draw a season. This year we haven't had a draw yet. But the thing is, Andrew, is that a draw consists of 80 minutes plus 10 minutes at a time. Extra time is pretty, not regular, but like regular enough. Eels not win a comp this year. I'm the NRL. If the Eels win the comp this year, I'll become a Brisbane Broncos fan and a Manchester United fan and tattoo their logos on my forehead if the Eels win the comp this year in 2026. So third tackle out to 33. I will get New South Wales fan tattooed on my forehead if the Parramatta Eels win the comp in 2026 in the men's first grade. I need to dictate that before people use it for other things. So they'll get this ball up here. And Jenkins, geez, he's had a rough game, but he does get it. I've been rebooted, Bankstown says. I'm so sorry. I hope so. I always win all the other sports, mostly, except for footy. So what, have you got a draw in regulation, or are you talking like a draw? Are you talking about like a draw in total, like after 90 minutes? Or are you saying extra time? Go on point. So they're going to get this ball now to the 25. To the 25. I don't know what you're saying, Eek. What are you saying below my nose? I don't know what you're saying. I know I'm a little bit sick right now, but I don't have anything on my nose, do I? Eek, you drunk right now? But they're going to get this ball here to 10. And now you'll go bald and support a Klein. You know what? If the Parramatta Eels win the comp this year... You know what? If the Parramatta Eels made the 8 this year, I'll go bald and support a Klein. How about that one? If the Parramatta Eels make the top 8 this year, I'll go bald in support of Ashley Klein. There you go. I'm thinking about getting a tattoo with the date it happened. Fair enough. Yeah, look, that makes sense, Jess. I would too. Yeah. That makes sense. No, Adam Carr is not the fastest man in the planet. Funny cat bits. Eek and King Kong have been day drinking all day today. Oh no. Note it down. Andrew says, yeah, that was kind of dumb, but you never know a draw could happen. Yeah, but again, are you talking about a draw in 80 or a draw in 90? They're two different things. A draw in 80 is not like an overall draw, but if you're talking about an overall draw, that's in 90. I don't know what, like, I don't know if you've bet on like an 80-minute draw or a 90-minute draw. So 4 tackling out to 50. Is Bolo even playing? No. So Cameron Tuolangi. Oh no. Oh, they're saying the Eels nearly just got a penalty against them just now. And I don't know why they're kicking on fourth, but it's going to go over the sideline. I don't mind that though from Volkman. It's just the kick was awful. Honestly, I don't even know. Well, I can't help you there, Andrew. I can't help you in regards to your bet because 90 minutes, I'm going to say it's about a 0.01% chance of a draw. 80 minutes, I think it's not actually a bad chance, but still probably like a 5% chance. Second tackle out to 40. They go to the right-hand side. The Liam, Scotty Sorensen. Sorensen's going to be to 45. Luca Moretti goes up with a failed HIA, by the way. So he won't be back today. Panthers right inside Nathan Cleary. Short ball to Liam Martin. And he'll get this ball now to the 50 for tackle. Nathan Cleary gets this ball across. Panthers run this ball to the 35 now. Fit tackle. That should be 6 again. Yep, there we go. Yep, Jared Sutton's right there. I called it. 100% was a 6 again. Alamotti gets it off to Brian Toto. Brian Toto, the 20, steps back onto the inside. Here with the 15. That was so poor from Parramatta on fit tackle. I was saying it should be 6 again, and then they've gone and called it. So first tackle with the Panthers. Freddie Lussick on the left-hand side. Nathan Cleary at the 15. He's going to run this ball hard. Good on him for actually giving it a crack. 5 mates out. Freddie Lussick. What the hell? They're actually going to score. Liam Martin is actually going to score a try. 16-12 to get to come. Well, there you go. There you go. Parramatta just had a mental breakdown over these last few moments. I don't know why fans are booing. It was quite clearly a 6 again. Like, it was blatantly a 6 again there for the Panthers. Nobody should be booing that. Nobody should be booing it. That was quite blatantly a 6 again for the Panthers. He was just literally holding him down on the ground. Well, this blowout could still happen here, lads. So there is an extra 10 minutes if they draw 80. So, Andrew, the way extra time works is that there is 80 minutes in a game of rugby league. If it is tied, say, for example, they get the kickers 18-12, Eels score, make it 18-18. Then if it's tied 18-18 at the end of that 23 minutes, after the end of the 80, we'll go into extra time. There is 5 minutes per half. It's whoever scores first wins. If you don't score, if neither team scores in that 10 minutes, it will be an official draw. But again, that's after 90. Sometimes you can bet on draw after 80. But the thing is, the rules change going into finals. Because once we get into finals, it is actually extra time, where it means it's not first team to score on the 80 to 90 minute mark. It's whoever's winning by the 90 minute mark. If it's still tied, then obviously we go into sudden death in regards to first point wins. But that's not until finals. But for the time being, it's just golden point. Whoever scores first wins, but you've only got 10 minutes to do it. Land animals will always win. No, look, it's not necessarily true, because land animals are not beating a knight or a titan or a warrior. Gee whiz. Come on. Penrith hit the front here for the first time tonight. It's 18-12 to the Panthers with 22 minutes to go here. 18-12 to the old Penny Panthers. Still 22 minutes left here. Bankstown says, what happened to Panthers domination? They're leading 18-12 right now. They've been shocking here today, and yet look at them still leading. They've been shocking today, but they're still leading. 22 minutes left. Humans can kill the Loch Ness Monster. Oh my gosh, Loch Ness Monster. Don't go down the conspiracy path. If we go down conspiracy path, conspiracy day is usually Saturday, or Sunday afternoon games. Like, if we get into the conspiracies of the world, that's like a Sunday, and then we're going to get Justin, another human, come in saying, we're talking about the real stuff now. You know, they're the days that you kind of get off of topic and path. Third tackle now at the 30. They've sort of given up calling that unless it's super, super obvious. Nikhil, what did he say? Clearly didn't play properly. I'd like to see that again. I didn't see it personally. I didn't see it. I go to the left-hand side. Nathan Cleary. Cleary now to Billy Phillips. Fifth tackle at 45. Right saying wait for Saturday, Sunday. Probably more so Sunday afternoon game. Or Raiders. Nah, the early Saturday game's too early. Middle of the day one is usually, we're still not there. The third Saturday game, though, that's the ripper. That's the ripper. That's the Jack the Ripper. Second tackle now at the 25. Bigfoot is real. I heard tree knocking once. Well, if you heard tree knocking once, I'd probably say, Johnny, you're right then. Yeah, no, if you heard tree knocking once, I'd say Bigfoot probably does exist. It probably was Bigfoot. Was it the Appalachian Mountains, or what was happening? So that's going to be a 6 again. Here for the Eels. They'll bring it out to the 45. 20 minutes to go of the game here, folks. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe for new around here. Isaiah Yo's about to come back on the field here for the Panthers. Another set restart here for the Eels. Another set restart. So tomorrow we've got Knights, Roosters, Rabbitohs, Storm. Actually a pretty big day. Could easily be 2 blowouts, but actually a pretty big day. Appreciate your Sundo for the 10 jewels. Get around. Yeah. Watchalong is away. Watchalong is away. Back on the inside. Zayongi. Zayongi gets away from the tackler. He's at the 20. He's still moving. It's first tackle, bro. Settle down. There we go. What's happening? A penalty here to Parramatta for something. What? Jared Sutton is what they've just called. What are we, French in the commentary? Professional foul. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Hold on. Look at Mitchell Moses' arms here first. Like, sure, we'll check this, but let's have a look at Moses. Moses is grabbing onto him, bro. Stop it. No. You cannot be in his Ipapaliti here. No. Mitchell Moses has gone all over him. No. Was that not Mitchell Moses diving all over him just now? Am I incorrect there? I might be incorrect. I swear I've just seen Moses grabbing onto his Papali'i. So Papali'i's gone to the bin here. Bro, Moses is going into him, bro. Moses has literally dived into him. How is that a bin? How is that a bin? The bunker has seen what we've seen at home. Have they commentary? Well, obviously fucking not. Obviously not. What a lot of shit, Sean says. That's incredible. Literally hanging off of Papali'i. Mitchell Moses was basically inside that man's pants. Jason, I get you're an Eels fan, bro, but shit, man, please look at that from a neutral view, because that is horrific of a call. That is a horrific call. Third tackle at the 8 here. Parramatta may score. That is horrific. That is so blatantly incorrect. It is actually sickening to see that call is called. That is sickening. Jason, if you take your Eels glasses off for 1 second, you'll realise how dumb that call just was. Fourth tackle. I go to the right-hand side. It's Yongi. They're going to be 5 metres out. I actually cannot believe the bunker saw the same thing as we saw. And it's called that as a bin. That's actually amazing. Nathan Clear gets the ball here to 5. Jez says, they've lost the ball. No, it's going to be a penalty to the Panthers. Jez says, Panthers have been stretching the rules for years. I don't disagree with this. About time people tell them to fuck off and play by the rules. Yeah, but that's not the correct call in regards to Moses. But it's going to be a penalty here to the Eels. I don't know why you'd give away a penalty in this situation. Deary me. So what is... Oh, okay. Yeah, stripped him 2 in the tackle. Say Games, what was that call? Manuel Savage says, who in the bunker, Mr. Magoo? You won't believe it, Manuel. I know everybody here is waiting on bated breath for who I'm about to say next. The bunker is Ashley Klein today. The bunker is Ashley Klein. So it's Paul Alamonte who brings his ball here to the 40. The Panthers have had 2 sin-bins there, by the way. The first one was absolutely correct. Thomas Jenkins going was absolutely correct. No 2 ways about it. But yes, it is Ashley Klein currently in the bunker. Oh no. So first tackle here with the Panthers at the 42. Andrew says we still win though. Eels are full of crabs. They can't do nothing. Mr. Magoo, eh? Nathan Cleary to Casey McLean. 4th tackle. It's okay because the Slimy Limeys won't score. What is Slimy Limeys? Nathan Cleary right inside. Jackson Edgar back on the inside. Good run here. Still going here. Off to Scotty Sorensen. Scotty Sorensen can't get the ball offloaded at 40. Who, even though when a team is down at 12, it should be almost guaranteed points. You'll find that in rugby league it's not as actually as easy as you think. It's like when you go down at 10 men in football, everyone thinks it's easy to score, and it's like it's not necessarily easy to score if they all go ultra defensive. If they go ultra defensive, whether it be here or there, more so football, it can make it actually harder. Second tackler at 20. Like if you're down 2-0 and that other team gets a red card in football, soccer, you can make an argument that it's more difficult. Because now they don't have to think about attack, they just have to think about defense. Wow, they nearly knocked that ball on there. 4th tackle now for the Eels at the 35. That was 12-18. Now it's Moses off to Kemal Tuolangi. Jeez, he's killing on his edge. He's killing on that edge. 5th tackle here at the 40. That left edge defense of the Panthers is awful right now. And that's Jenkins and that's Jenkins, Talangi, and also Brian Todd gets away from one tackle, get the ball out to the 10 on first tackle here. That's Jenkins, Casey McLean. That's a penalty. Oh my gosh, Penasani, bro, get out of the way, man. It's milked, but it's also a penalty. Penasani, get out of the way, bro. Get out of the way, man. Penalty to the Panthers. Crazy if Eels still lose after 2 sin bins and Panthers playing on crap. Well, that's what's happening right then. That's what's happening right now. I don't care if Antarctic coming for the Eels or pennies after this game. Well, neither of them are in the top 9, though, just another human, so it's not possible. We've never had to put a team officially on Antarctica before. The day that it happens will be something special, though. The day it happens will be something special. So the Panthers now are going to bring this ball to the 25. And they'll go to the left-hand side. Casey McLean. Panthers have actually missed quite a few tackles in the second half compared to their first. Jeez, I can't wait to get rid of this cough. Can't believe I witnessed Talangi make a tackle. Give me a 5-8. Give me 5-8 of the year. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's 5-8 of the year worthy right there. Antarctica if you lose by 80. Oh, it depends if you're still like a top 8 team after like 4 losses in a row. Something like that. Nathan Cleary's away here. Nathan Cleary's away here. Nathan Cleary's away here. The 30, the 25, the 20. He'll be taken down. 20 metres out. Good run there. They go back to the open side to Blaze Talangi. Talangi, you better do something. Oh my gosh. He goes back short side. Liam Martin gets it off to Nathan Cleary. Cleary flicks his ball offload again. This is insane. Oh my gosh. That's a forward pass. Well, that's a forward pass. There's a knock on. Ball don't lie. Oh my gosh. They've said it's a 6 again. No. That's awful refereeing. Please call the knock on. Please. Okay, they've changed the call. Oh no, they've said this is knock on Eels. Oh my gosh. Please challenge it, Eels. Eels, challenge it, please. Please. I don't know what's he actually called here because this is a shambles. This is a shambles. McShambles. That pass was so forward. It's like he's coming back for it, but it's still forward. Please challenge it, please. Oh, and he's actually patting his ball here. He's actually patting his ball. You know what? So, Jason, to agree with you, that was a forward pass. That was absolutely a forward pass. Brian Toto is going to bring this ball here to the 10. Great run by BT. Big Toto. They go to the left. Nathan Cleary, short ball. Lindsay Smith. Second tackler. Panthers score here. It's game, set, match, son. Free Lussick to Isaiah Yo. Nathan Cleary. Cleary sets back onto the inside. He'll be taking out the 12. That was weird. Biggest forward pass in years. Well, let's not go that far, mate. It was a forward pass. But let's not go biggest forward pass in years. Forward tackle. Cleary sets up on the right here, but they go to the left-hand side. Blaze Salangi. They go to the left to Casey McLean. McLean taking down to the 5. You knew as soon as Blaze Salangi got the ball that there was never going to be a try on the end of this. Panthers back hit to Nathan Cleary. Cleary is going to put this ball up. Pull out a Motti here. Goes up, knocks it back. Quick play. Brian Toto, he'll offload the ball. Liam Martin gets it across here to Blaze Talangi. Talangi kicks that ball over the top here. Thomas Jenkins! Try top of the Panthers. And that's the game, folks. Oh, no. No. Yeah, look. Parramatta, yikes. Big old yikes amundos. What you say about Blaze plays, I'll say the same thing as I've been saying all year long. Just because of one kick there does not mean that I'm changing my opinion on who has been arguably the worst Panthers player in 2026 when I called him as a breakout player in 2026. And that's the thing. I want to see the best of Blaze Talangi. He is a lot more potential than what he shows. He has been flat out awful for this year in 2026. He's been flat out awful in 2026. One kick there is not going to change my mind in regards to that. Play well for the next 2, 3, 4 weeks at the back end of the season. Great, but he coasts alongside Nathan Cleary every single week. 22-12 here with 12 minutes to go to the game. Klein is doing the bunker calls on his phone from bed. Fair cool. Every try has been from a poor ref and call, to be fair. Every single set. Well, first Panthers try was sweet, but the other ones... Yeah, it's not been great. Jess with a £2 donation. 2.5 Panthers, M&D for the win. Let's get that kill. Exactly right, Jess. M&D. Fire it up. Like at the end of the day, the Eels have been awful, and Panthers have been awful. But yet the Panthers have been down a man for 20 minutes this game. The Eels have been up a man for 20 minutes this game, and they're still going to lose. On try from a knock-on, no try from a forward pass. The knock-on is not true, but that one there in regards to this forward pass, yeah, it should have been Eels' ball. But if you're going to try and take the first try, you're off your head. But this one definitely shouldn't have been a Panthers try. I think you're right. Earlier than the Panthers are working on their second half at the expense of their first half. Seeing them score more in the second half is like watching a blue moon. Yeah, you're right. Nathan Cleary, he will get the kick. It is 24-12 with 11.5 minutes to go here to game. I just want to put this out here for you, though, Eels fans. Whilst you're right in regards to the refereeing, it's been a little bit, very much interesting against you and more so for the Panthers. At the end of the day, you've still been ass here today. At the end of the day, you still don't deserve this. You've still made plenty of knock-ons. You've still had defense that's allowed holes right through the line. You've still had plenty of times and plenty of opportunities to do something with it. You haven't. And the Panthers have still found a way to do it. That's what the Panthers do. They've still been awful, and they deserve to be criticised, but yet they're still going to probably find a way to win this game. It's going to be the first time Jenkins only gets a single try. I reckon he gets another one in him. There's still 11.5 minutes to go here. And that's a knock-on. That's a penalty. That should have been a penalty to the Eels, but it's going to be Eels' ball hit the 48. Is the score paused, Seb says? I'll refresh it. Yeah, it is, because I can see that if the clock isn't moving, then yes. Let's just see if it's NRL.com or... it was outside. Second technically for the Eels at 35. I hate to sound like a broken record, but I have to once again say, not every team can be like the mighty Titans and beat the Panthers so easily. Now, you can sound like a broken record all you like, mate. Keep going with it. We love that record. We love a broken record around here, really. Third tackle out the 20. So, Papali'i still has 50 seconds to go in the bin here for the Panthers. 10 minutes to go to the game here, folks. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new around here. Volkman taking out the 20. Fourth tackle. They go to the left. Kitchuna Katonga. 5 minutes out, fifth tackle. Panthers are playing like this. There are no hope in finals. That is the most ridiculous call ever. That is the most ridiculous call. Oh, no, they're going out. No, that's a good kick there from Brian Kelly, and that'll be Jackson Edgar, who's had a pretty good game, taking that to 5. Come on, Jay, you should be on that, mate. Oh, yeah, Jay, exactly right. Get on him. Get into him. Take that, Jay. Unbelievable. So, Casey McLean, third tackle now to the 20. I think you're right. Yeah, that's right. Terrible reffing, but scores should be swapped. Eels suck. Well, terrible reffing, but the Eels don't deserve 24 points here. Mitchell says only Luai threw that pass. Maybe the touch here wouldn't have even seen it. Luai threw the pass. Fit tackle at the 40. Do we know why Edwards is out? I'm not too sure. That's going to be kicked and falconed one of the Eels players here. And Addo is going to get this ball here at the 45. Oh, no. Talon Silva. Yeah, he's all over. He's going to come off. He won't be back today. He won't be back here today, Talon Silva. He has been absolutely rocked-a-mundost. Absolutely rocked-a-mundost just now. Wowee. Eels out 15. By the way, I'm thinking to switch and loophole Nathan Cleary. He's on 99 on Supercoach already. I'm thinking I might just give it the old loophole. Like, he might probably get to about 120, I reckon. He's been rock talented over there. God bless him. Panthers are just winning over a team that never win. Okay. The Warriors struggled to get past the Dragons last week. The Warriors are the team that's currently in second position. The Warriors struggled to get past the team that wins less than the Eels. Michelle, what do you say about that? The Roosters, they beat the Eels. Were they fantastic against the Eels? No, the scoreline's pretty similar to when the Roosters were third place beat the Eels. The Sharks, don't even start me on them. The Dolphins, definitely don't start me on them. The Knights, they've just lost Ponga and definitely don't start on them. Nobody else is a guarantee. So, like, what are we doing judging purely the Panthers saying, well, they're not going to do anything with their form? Oh, jeez, right into the eardrum too. God bless Talon Silva. It was out because he's got a big gash on top of his head from a head knock last week. God bless him. It was had a deep head laceration. Didn't want to risk him. We're taking it easy, and it is still light work. Not the way to be thinking of this game, Andrew. Elijah says Panthers should have won last week. Nah. You got beaten by a better team on the day. Doesn't mean the Broncos are a better team season long because they're not good, but you just got beaten by a better team on the day. Yeah, there was some controversial calls, but you've had your fair share of controversial calls, man. You've had your fair share at Penrith. So 9.5 minutes to go here this game. They're at the 50, the Eels. God bless Talon Silver. David Watson says, could be like Whiplash, that headshot, poor guy. Well, no, the ball has been booted from Nathan Cleary. He's got some good power right directly into the ear of Talon Silver. So I'm sure that he doesn't even know where he is right now. Obviously, you really hope it's on a burst eardrum, right? But it's gone directly into his ear. Doesn't feel right the Sharks aren't on at least fraud alert. Well, they are the originators. They are like the permanent scam team, but like they're the type of team, like it will take a couple for like a team like the Wars or the Roosters, or well, not the Roosters, the Wars or a couple of other teams. It would take a couple of really poor games to put them onto a scam. It would take one loss for the Sharks or the Roosters to put them straight off of nothing onto a scam. It'd take one loss to whomever, it doesn't matter who. I could easily, depending on how the game plays out, I could easily just put either one of these two Scam Dog millionaires right onto the old scam. Right onto the old scam. Triggered, I was hoping for that. What triggered me? Well, just because I said that it's light work, you think you triggered me just because I said, oh, well, that's not really the way you should be thinking about that. Mate, you should, if you've watched this channel enough, you'd be, firstly, yeah, I can see why you've been timed out by the moderators. But also, secondly, if you watch the channel enough, man, you got to do far better than that to trigger me. I couldn't give a shit about the result of this game at the end of the day. This actually is a better result for my team in the Titans because it means that if we beat the Dragons on Sunday, we go above the Eels. Not that I really cared. Because I believe that wherever you finish at the end of round 27 is where you deserve to be after a 27-long season. How many else was it Nene who got a ball to the head from Moses in Origin? I don't remember if it was, but I know what you're talking about. I remember what you're talking about. Second half completions, 19 from 19 for the Panthers, 13 from 14 for the Parramatta. Good completions from both teams, just less sets for Parramatta. They're away with Penasini. Penasini through the line. He's at the 30. He's at the 25. He's at the 20. Nathan Cleary and Jackson Edgar will take him down to the 15. 4 tackles. Still 7 minutes to go here, Parramatta, if you can score. Still, they're going to go out to the left-hand side here. Kitiana Katonga. Katonga back onto the inside. Gets the offload away. Still there for your Eels. Not anymore. Brian Top picks it up and he'll get this ball out of the 15 and he'll be taken out of the 20 on first tackle. It was still there until it wasn't there. It was still there until it was not there. And the Panthers place a lungy. You get this ball at the 30 on the second tackle. Did I have too many beers when I did my super coach? Got Jojo as my captain. No, you just get rugby league, said Watson, really. You just... Makes me sick, really. You get rugby league. Why do the Eels want the Panthers to win so bad, Jez says? Because it's Parramatta. And welcome to Parramatta. Alamotti. What is the offloads happening here? Well, that's a high tackle. I'm surprised they didn't call that a high tackle against 1280. Nathan Cleary. Oh, that's a beautiful ball from Cleary. Brian Toto back onto the inside. I think that's knocked on here from maybe Jackson Edgar, but that was an amazing ball from Nathan Cleary. Wow. That was an amazing pass. And yeah, what a rifle of a ball. It's just that he couldn't get that ball back inside around, I think it was Kamatwalangi. Got maybe some form now. Jojo Feeder's always on form, mate. Jojo Feeder's brilliant. He's just permanently underrated because he plays for the Titans. Third tackle at the 48. Bucks' wide offload. Are you talking about the Eels or are you talking about Brian Tottle's thing? Short ball. Eels at the 40. Fourth tackle. If you're talking about Brian Toto, he's going on the sideline. If you're talking about the Eels, they have to offload in this position because they're down by 12 and they need a chance to the arm. Out of the left-hand side, playing Josh Adokar, the 30, 25, 20, 15, taken down, fit tackle. As a Rabbit, I want Panthers to lose. Sure. Either team is irrelevant to the Rabbitohs at the moment. Oh, it's a good take by Casey McLean, the 5. Great take. First tackle, 5 minutes to go here. Thomas Jenkins. Well, it looks like he's not going to be scoring his double that he usually gets. They go to Isaiah Papali'i, and Papali'i with a good run here to the 20 on third tackle. Plays to Lungy off to Yo. Nathan Cleary steps back onto the inside. He's still going here. He's still going. And then he'll be taken out at 35 and 4 tackle. I just feel like Talangi's a better fullback than a 5'8", but you're getting over Edwards, but I'm surprised he didn't get a chance tonight. Well, because they don't want to change the halves. You don't want to change too much to your spine. But Blaise Talangi, I just think that he coasts too much, man. I just think that he expects Nathan Cleary to be Nathan Cleary. And it's like, I don't even blame him. Like, I don't blame Blaise Talangi. But it's just so clearly obvious that when there's a player alongside Cleary, besides like a quality player like a Munster or like a Moses or these kind of guys, when there's a player, you don't really want an inexperienced player or a young player playing alongside Nathan Cleary. You kind of want an experienced player there because the young player will immediately fall back into Nathan is the guy that's controlling this team. I don't really need to do a great deal. But if you've got an experienced guy, they still want to show that, hey, listen, you might be controlling it, but I'm still going to, benefit you greatly. Whilst Blaise Talangi hasn't really done that. McLean much better tonight. Last week was shocker. He's not a mud runner. No, last week was a shocker, but tonight's been much better. And that'll be Brian To'o. He'll get away from one tackle, and then he'll get this ball out. He's away here. He's away. Good run to the 30. He's getting some nice little bonus points here at the back end of the game. Alamotti gets the offload away. Well, that was a good pass. Oh, Isaiah Papali'i, I don't know how he hasn't dropped that. Oh, Eels have fallen away. I could see the Panthers still scoring one more try here. Oh, Talangi, what the fuck, man? No, and that's the problem, man. Like, 3 minutes to go, and Blaise Talangi's just going to throw the ball forward into the Eels at the 25. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Oi, blazing Hua Hin at the moment. Hope you're enjoying Kazo. Hua Hin's a good place. But no, Kazak's good, man. Almaty is really nice. Beautiful view of the mountains here as well at this new place that I'm in. No, it's a good place. Josh had a car. He'll be at the 8 on second tackle. At a Titans point, you would get it. Well, I don't know what I'm meant to be getting, but like if I knew what I was meant to be getting, I'd get it. Yeah, you're right, Michelle. You're right. And that's going to be way too slow from the Eels. Third tackle at the 20. Blaze was underwhelming in the couple of games he's played at fullback. Hasn't played there in nearly 2 years. Can see why they didn't select him there. Yeah, I never would have thought that'd be... I think it's even crazy to put him there. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to change your R's. Especially for a short-term situation. Volkman, he'll be 5 minutes out. Good tackle from Nathan Cleary. What kind of mountain like Mount Everest? Well, Google Almaty, A-L-M-A-T-Y, and you'll see the mountains in the background. I'd show you, but the glare, you can't see it from out the window. They go to the right. You just go chancy arm here. Mitchell Moses, short ball. Yeah, down for the Eels. There's still a chance here. Take a quick one. Hey, Jack Williams, you're only down by 6 points with a conversion here. Get the ball, give it to Mitchell Moses, and let him take a kick because you're only going to be down by 6 points. Why are Parramatta so slow here? I'm so shocked, Jason. First time Paris lost wearing this jersey. I'm so shocked. I would say with last year's Blaze's defense is much better from last, but attack not so much. Sure. Get to putting a team that hardly wins makes the wins even better. Oh, absolutely. Look at me. I cry when my team wins a random round 17, 16, 15 game when their season's already done. Like, it's not about actually winning the premiership. Like, obviously you want to win the premiership, but it's not even really about that. So Moses will get the kick. It's a 6-point game. Parramatta. Minute 19, minute 18 to go here. Rev it all up, son. Let's see if they can find a way. You have to convert, try immediately. Minute 17 to go. Jack Williams, wish he could play like this for the Sharkies, but proud to see him doing well. He's going good here. It's going good. Talangi fault that try. Absolutely, David. Absolutely. Jesus Demon needed Volkman or To'o. To'o scored 2 tries last week, so I wasn't going to go for him for a try this week. It's usually always switch. By the way, I'm pretty happy. I'm okay that I put Alamotti in. He didn't get an amazing score coach, but like I'll take it. I definitely am VC loopholing Nathan Cleary though. So Panthers will kick it off. And now, bring the ball out to the 20. They need to score a convert try right damn well now. Down by 6. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new around here. And now the Eels will take this ball out to the 20 on second tackle. Also, how the heck did Cleary stay on the field? Unbelievable. Well, what do you mean? Is Yongi, the 25, he's still moving and grooving, and we third tackle, 43 seconds to go here to game. Panthers on fraud for sure. Well, they actually win. The game is still tight. I can't put them on fraud. Moses kicks the ball over the top here. Oh, chance here, Parramatta. No. Panthers get the ball at 35, and that should be the game, folks. That should be the game. And that's a high tackle penalty. No, it's just going to be Panthers ball. His second tackle at 35. The Bunnies were great a decade ago. They're pretty good. They won a premiership 12 years ago. Dasmo loves that. Lagans loves that too. Nathan Cleary, he will get taken down at the 37, and that will be the ball game, son. 24-18 to the Panthers. They will win their 6th game in a row against the Parramatta Eels. They will win it, and they will get it done in, look, lackluster circumstances. Like, it was not a spectacular showing here from the Penrith Panthers, but they will get the job done. Now, that means that the Eels are officially eliminated. They cannot get to 13 wins. The Eels are now officially eliminated from finals football, mathematically. Whilst the Panthers, obviously, they go to 14 wins. They're 2 wins by the Warriors and Roosters, but their points differential is still up by 6. They go to plus 24. Warriors they're 202, and Roosters are at 84. So forget the Roosters, but the Warriors are still within range if they can get a good enough win against the Bulldogs this week, but they still get to play the Panthers in a couple of weeks' time. So overall, Panthers, they stay on top. Eels mathematically done, and Lag wasn't alive in 2014. That is also true. We'll see you tomorrow, as it will be the Newcastle Knights taking on the Sydney Chucksters, and then the Rabbitohs taking on the Melbourne Storm. 20 minutes with 12 clanky, but they were very clanky tonight. Clanky Bonsai. They were still very, very clanking. But tomorrow, guys, will be live for Knights vs Roosters and Rabbitohs vs Storm. So I will see you then. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new around here. I appreciate you as usual, and I'll see you then. Thanks for watching. Catch you later. See ya. Titans win the comp, and you know it, son.